Hello. Is this thing on? Is this thing working? Wait, hang on. Hello? Oh, it is working. Okay, hello. Hello, happy Tuesday. Happy day 2 of our back-to-back. I'm very excited. I treated myself today. I said I want to have a good stream, so I let myself get Chipotle so there would be no need for snacking, at least unless we go like crazy far. I've got myself a nice cup of coffee, Godot approved. I got a nice, I'm under a blanket right now. Because honestly, I think I ran my AC too cold upstairs, so I'm a little bit chilly. So I got a blanket. And I'm ready. I'm ready. Yesterday, I had a dream about Ace Attorney. I don't remember what it was. Oh, my voice cracked. I don't remember what my dream was, unfortunately. I just remember it was about Ace Attorney, and that's it. And I said, man, I think I'm playing this game too much. I think I'm thinking about it too much off stream. I was really, really into it yesterday. I was having a really good time. I was having a lot of fun. So we will see. I don't know. See, here's the thing. I'm afraid to look at how much we have left, because I don't want to spoil myself. I don't think we're going to be able to finish it today. That's the vibe that I get. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to spend too much time yapping. I do want to get into it ASAP. He says as he rocks in his chair and sips his coffee. Maybe just a little bit of yapping. Just a little bit of yapping. Remember how I said I woke up to a spider on me yesterday? Well, unfortunately today I'm back on the couch, or at least last night I was, because I was like, well, what if there's another spider in my room? And I was like, okay, well then I have to deep clean it. So I slept on the couch. But I will say, I feel very rested. I feel very good today. I had a very productive day at work. It's not often that I feel this on the ball. So I'm like waiting. I'm waiting for something to go wrong. Too many things are going right today, and I'm just waiting for something to go wrong. So maybe it'll be during stream, or maybe it'll be after stream during my Overwatch games. Who knows? But the day's been going too good for me so far. Ba-da-dum, dum, dum. I will show you the game this time. unlike yesterday, now I will show you the game. You can see the game now. All right. I don't think this is the last segment. I don't think so. However, we will soon find out. This is probably the one, right? Part 4-2. February 10th, 1:06 p.m., District Court, Courtroom number 7. Boom. Now then, let's continue where we left off, shall we? Well, witness? Yes. How can I help you, Mr. Judge? Oh, so we didn't even we cut it. It had to be continued. I thought we were going into a break where we'd be in the court. Not in the courtroom, but in like the hallway. But I guess not. I mean, to be fair, I don't know what we would do, who we would talk to, because we're flying solo, and our client isn't here. Oh, this is so interesting. How can I help you, Mr. Judge? Well, it seems that if we're to learn the truth, we'll need to hear your testimony. I have no problem with that. But when you've seen what I have, or when you've seen what I have, sometimes the truth is better left unknown. This face, I don't like the Iris sprite making this face. He's too nice. This is a Dahlia face. And I know that they have, well, like, they kind of have the same face. No, they definitely have the same face because they're twins. But I like Iris. I don't like her making this face. It just feels, after we talked to Iris for so long, this face on her character sprite looks so weird. It looks so wrong. It looks so sinister to be fair, it's because Dahlia is sinister. What a great villain. I touched on it a little bit yesterday, too. I think Dahlia is probably my favorite villain in the series. We will see where she stands when this is all said and done on characters. I would like to do like a tier list at the end. Hello, Citrus. Welcome in. I would like to do a tier list at the end with like my favorite cases and my favorite characters. And as much as I don't like her as a person, Dahlia, she's a great character, man. She is a great antagonist. In any case, let's hear your testimony. Tell us about the plan that was carried out that night. All right, Dahlia. This is this is nuts. The plan. Citrus, I hope you had a good Tuesday. Oh, we have like the chill music right now. The whole plan began with my death. A stupid plan hatched by Morgan Fay to install her own daughter as the next master. But for it to work, Maya Fay would first have to die. The idea was for me to kill Maya and then have the blame pinned on Iris. Interesting. I wonder how much... Hello, Hala. Welcome in. Was getting food. Dahlia telling lies? No, Papa. Telling lies, Dahlia? Yes, Papa. So, here's where I'm at. I don't know if I can trust what she's saying right now about wanting to kill Maya and then have the blame pinned on Iris. It seems to track, but what happened in her plan to flip the switch? This is Dahlia? Oh, did you miss the end of last stream, Citrus? This is Dahlia. Reincarnated, she swapped places with Iris. We don't know where Iris is right now. But yes, this is Dahlia. She has no reason to lie at this point because she is dead. But I don't know. I'm so interested. Not reincarnated. You're right. I feel like I keep saying that. Not reincarnated. Her spirit. Even more of a confusing mess. I need to know what happened to Iris. Where is Iris? And how in the know is she? Like, is she willingly going along with this? Like, what's going on, girl? The idea was for me to kill Maya and then have the blame pinned on Iris. The plan went wrong, but it seems to have succeeded anyway. Hello, Max. Welcome in. Dahlia's probably lying because she's Dahlia. Good point. Good point. Much to think about. Wait a minute. Did you just say the plan was to kill Maya Fay? Yes. You have a problem with that? Don't give us that nonsense. There's no way that... Watch yourself, trite. If you've got a problem, solve it during cross-examination. That's one of my rules. Mr. Godot is correct. And by the way, that's one of my rules as well. To kill Maya? Could that be true? I don't know. I don't know. Welcome in, dancing. Good evening. I hope you guys all had a good Tuesday. Was it Iris before and now we just know? It has been Dahlia since the earthquake. If you remember the stream where there was the earthquake and Edgeworth and Iris were briefly separated, it has been Dahlia since then. The whole plan began with my death. You were executed last month, right? Yes, I was hanged. It wasn't exactly pleasant. How did you manage to discuss the plan? When did you talk about it with Morgan Fay? Last year, she was transferred to the same detention center as me. Oh, well, that's a little bit our fault. Since I was on death row and she was my mother, it was actually pretty easy to meet with her. I see. So that's when you discussed the plan. Huh, are you crazy? At first, that woman was planning to kill me as well, even though I'm her own daughter. All to make Pearl Fay the master of Karain? She's a cold, twisted woman. Well, at least there's something we can agree on, right? Boom, boom, boom. She thought she could finally regain her lost honor, the honor she lost when her younger sister Misty took her place as the master. Ever since that day, she's been working on this plan. plan, huh? A stupid plan hatched by Morgan Fay to install her own daughter as the next master. The entire judge thinks the whole court is crazy. I mean, to be fair, if you're not a believer of the Karain technique, you probably, or if you don't know about it, you probably have a lot of questions. You probably have a lot of questions as to what's going on right now. But I think that the Karain channeling technique, whether or not it has believers, is at least somewhat common knowledge in this universe, is the vibe I get. You're talking about Pearl, is that correct? Yes, though at first she had high hopes for the two of us. You and your twin sister, Iris. That's correct. Fortunately, neither of us had much spiritual power. That's why we were abandoned by her, along with our father. Abandoned? The only person I ever really cared about in life was myself. My sister was a nuisance, so I convinced my father to leave her at an old temple. Jeez, that's cold. And so why is she helping you? You mean Iris? Yes, my father remarried a woman who also had a daughter. The less children you have, the more money there is to go around, right? And on top of that, my father had absolutely no interest in children in general. How horrible. That is really tough, especially for Iris. Iris, are you doing okay? The really horrible one was that woman. That bitter, vengeful woman. It was her stubbornness that gave birth to that child, Pearl Fay. She was born with an abundance of spiritual power, unfortunately for her. Morgan Fay heaped all of her broken hopes and dreams onto that poor child's back. All because of her pathetic dreams of having her bloodline become the main family. That is crazy from her. But for it to work, Maya Fay would first have to die. Maya would have to die. But why? And why are we now trying to pin the murder on her? I guess if Maya ends up getting the death penalty, it accomplishes the job, right? When Dahlia calls you horrible, you know you're messed up. That's a good point. And she is spitting facts here. No lies detected. Morgan Fay is an awful person. Just the worst of the worst. If you guys weren't around for the early days of the second Ace Attorney game, because it's like the second case in that game, Morgan Fay was a treat to work with, man. She is terrible. For our bloodline to succeed as the main family, thus making Pearl the new master, the remaining descendants of the current master had to be taken care of. Objection! But Pearls would never agree to a plan like that. Yeah! She adores Maya. How sad. You still don't get it, do you? What Pearl wanted had nothing to do with it. Morgan didn't care one bit about Pearl. The only thing she cared about was the position of the master. That's all. That's terrible. That's actually so terrible. Back in my day. Back in the old Depresso days. She was willing to sacrifice anything and anyone to achieve her goal. The life of her daughter, and naturally, the life of Maya Fay as well. Well, she did try to pin the crime on Maya in the second game. She tried to pin the murder on her, so you know what? That tracks. How could anyone do that? The idea was for me to kill Maya and then have the blame pinned on Iris. You were gonna kill Maya? Pearl didn't need to know anything about it. All she had to do was follow the instructions in the letter and channel me. Then I would have simply used her body and finished the job. You know, if I'm interested, if Dahlia hates her mother that much, I wonder why she went along with this plan. Oh, is it because she hates Mia? I think it's because she hates Mia. Because Mia's the one that put her behind bars. And it was a way for her to get revenge, maybe? By killing her mother and her sister? Perhaps. In any case, I'm already dead, and there's nothing any of you can do to me. You know, conversation for another day. Conversation maybe for the end of the stream. So the plan was to blame the crime on your younger twin, on Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple. She and I look absolutely identical. No one can tell us apart. I always knew I can tell Iris apart. I was never fooled. If someone were to witness me killing Maya, naturally they would think it was Iris that had done it. And the witness in this case was the head nun, Sister Bikini. I never would have guessed she was going to return to Hazakura Temple that night. But she wound up seeing Iris's crime anyway. But why did you want to pin the murder on Iris in the first place? She's your twin sister, isn't she? That's a good point. Twin sister? Don't make me laugh. She's nothing but a backstabber. I couldn't care less about her. Then Iris, then why are you going through with this? Why are you helping her? Why are you helping her? Sure, buddy, keep telling yourself you can tell them apart. I can, I swear. You just don't understand. You never will. Anyway, I wonder if Iris had something to do with her and Valerie getting caught with the jewel. We never found that $2 million jewel, did we? I wonder if that's gonna come up. The plan went wrong, but it seems to have succeeded anyway. This is it. This is the day. Welcome, Trollface. It is the day. Well, we think it's the day. Does anyone think we're gonna finish the case today? People who have played through this before? Is that realistic or no? You think the plan was a success? You heard me. Just as that woman had hoped, Maya Fey is dead. Maybe, probably not. It seems like we have a lot to clear up in about 2 hours' time. What about Maya? Now the title of the master will pass on to Pearl Fey.
Objection!
I object to that because I don't believe it. That's absurd. Maya's just... she's just trapped. Trapped inside the sacred cavern. Really? You're as foolishly optimistic as ever, aren't you? My darling Feeny. Oh, you... oh. That is crazy. How dare you? Do you want to know the truth? Ever since we met, I've despised you. Your sniveling naivety and your pathetic faith in other people. I just want to know one thing. What did you personally think of Morgan Fey's plan? I told you already, didn't I? It was a stupid plan. It had no point, no value other than fulfilling her own greedy desires. Yeah, there was certainly nothing to be proud of. If that's how you feel, why'd you have to help her carry it out? Why would you do it? Why would you kill Maya? You may not understand it, being the kind and gentle soul that you are. You may not be able to appreciate why someone like me would help a woman like that. So then tell me why. Isn't it obvious? I'm not like that woman. I only act in my own self-interest. The reason I helped her was for myself. For my own personal satisfaction. I'm telling you, she just wanted to try and kill the sister of the girl who put her behind bars. The disrespect is crazy for Feeny? Oh, yeah. What did you say? So this woman, Dahlia Hawthorne, she had her own reason for wanting Maya dead. Do you understand why I would kill Maya now? What my goal was? Obviously, it's because you were helping Morgan Fey. Helping. Don't make me laugh. From the day I was born to the day I died, I never helped anyone. I lived for myself, and in the end, I died for myself. I thought that was obvious. So she wasn't actually cooperating with Morgan. She was just using Morgan in her plan so she could accomplish her own goal. All I wanted to do was kill Maya Fey. That was the only way I could think of to get revenge. Revenge! Oh, I think we hit the nail on the head. It looks like I have no choice but to present that piece of evidence. I can't believe it. She meant to kill Maya. I've got to keep a cool head, and I need to get more information out of her. It's the only way to understand this plan and what she was after as well. Alright, so there's a couple of things that we could object to here. She's just giving us more reasons to dislike her? Yeah, as if we need it anymore. Okay. I think we could honestly present Mia's profile right here, right? Do you understand why I would kill Maya now? What my goal was? And we just present Mia. Your goal was to get revenge on Mia. Let's go. So much family drama. I know. Could it be that your actual goal had nothing to do with Maya herself? As I said, none of you have the power to punish me anymore, because I'm already dead. Well, I had the same problem, you see. You can't punish the dead, and you can't take revenge against them either. How do you know when your objection is correct? Usually the music stops playing. But sometimes they'll throw you for a loop, and they'll cut the music and you're still wrong. She can never make me hate her. She's a great character. I was just talking about this, I think, before you came in, Max, but she's one of my favorite characters. I will make a tier list when we're done here, I think. Favorite cases, favorite characters, favorite moments, stuff like that. You can't take revenge against them either. You wanted to take revenge on someone. I was sentenced to die because of that woman. Mia Fey. Well, hang on. You were sentenced to die because of your own actions. All Mia did was bring them to light. I somehow knew this was it. I wanted to send her a message. It was at her hands that I suffered my first humiliation. I wanted her to feel the same pain she made me feel. Sadly, when I realized revenge was impossible, I gave up. And the reason it was impossible? Was it perhaps because Mia Fey had already died? Yes, and I realized there's only one way to take revenge against the dead. And how do you do that? Even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on forever. I wanted to take away the person that Mia Fey loved most. I wanted to kill her with my own hands. This is a crazy line of dialogue from such an innocent face. She's like a better Matt on guard. That's a good way to think about it. I read into her character a lot. She's subtle in a lot of ways while also being so outward with her anger. I really want to go back, like I said, and look at the postures when you can start telling the difference between the two. I think that's a really cool bit of info. I think she's a better endgame protagonist than Matt was. I agree. Not that Matt was bad. I just think Dahlia is really good. And Dahlia has also been built up the whole game, which isn't something we get often. We've seen Dahlia since the very first case in this game. That would be the one and only way I could take my revenge against Mia Fey. That was the reason I helped out with that woman's plans. Just for that? For that you would kill Maya? Your goal was no different than that of Morgan's. Boom. As they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. What a cruel plan. Cruel, cold, and heartless. Some might say soulless. Don't waste your time preaching to the dead. I've already told you there's not a thing you can do to me. Whose body is she in, though? That's what I want to know. Is it Maya's body? It's not Pearl's body, I don't think, right? Because Pearl was having trouble channeling. That night... No, I don't think... Iris isn't strong enough to channel. That's why she couldn't become a master. I don't think it's Iris's body. At about 9:30 p.m., I materialized into this world. I quickly pinned my hair up and put on a demon warding hood. Then I picked up the staff that was by my side and left Hazakura Temple. So it was Elise Dona who channeled her after all. Wait, Elise channeled? That ridiculous head nun never noticed a thing. She left Maya Fey at the inner temple and wobbled back, clutching her poor old back. What did you do then? That kid was easier to handle than I'd hoped. I caught up with her in front of the stone lantern. Then I took out the dagger I got from the storeroom and... No way. So then you're saying you stabbed Maya? It's strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that. You little... What does that mean? No clear memory. I don't know. I think I was stabbed. She was stabbed, perhaps, by Elise, who's like, you're stabbing my daughter, I'm gonna stab you, maybe? You were stabbed? At the last minute, Maya Fey must have stabbed me. I'm sure of it. But Maya wouldn't have a weapon on her, would she? Objection! That's not like her at all. Maya wouldn't stab a French fry with a plastic fork. Anyway, I suddenly lost consciousness. But before I did, I scrawled her name on the lantern. Just as I was passing out, I wrote Maya behind my back. I had hoped it would cast suspicion on her. I can't believe she was thinking of all that until the bitter end. That's where my memory temporarily stops. It stops? Did she get unchanneled? I don't have any memory of actually killing Maya Fey with my own 2 hands. My very last memory was Maya's terror-filled eyes. When I woke up after that, I was in the sacred cavern surrounded by darkness. Okay. You were in the sacred cavern. I might be able to see where this is going. The entrance was sealed with one of those trick locks. Somehow I'd been trapped in there. But how did you wind up in there? I'd like to know that myself. Anyway, I was worried. I didn't know whether or not Maya Fey was dead. And I swore I wouldn't return to the underworld until I knew I had killed her myself. For a ghost, you're one tough cookie. I wanted to get out of there and make sure she was dead. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't get out. The trick lock stopped you? I didn't know how to remove it. So then you're saying you were actually confined against your will inside this sacred cavern? Yes, I wanted to get rid of that annoying lock as soon as possible, but it wasn't easy. I kept getting interrupted while I was working on it. Interrupted? It was early in the morning, but someone came into the training hall. Who? Yeah, who? Could it have been Maya? I thought the same thing, but I couldn't see. Why not? If someone had spotted me, I would have lost my chance to take revenge. So I made sure to hide myself well at the back of the sacred cavern. That morning, only 2 people could have gone into the training hall. Maya and Pearls. Pearls went in there to cover the hanging scroll in gravy, that's right. We have her pinned there. Still, I finally managed to remove the lock, but I was too late. What do you mean by that? The flies had already started to gather. Oh, that's right, because then we were here. Now, hey, so she was there the whole time when there was only a single lock on it, right? No, Pearl isn't the villain. Now, Pearl might have been channeled. Like, Pearl might be overtaken, but Pearl's not a bad egg. Maybe Elise stabbed Elise. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, Pearl's... It doesn't... Her job was the gravy. That was all she was concerned about doing. But Morgan was going to use her innocence to carry out this plan. But it would not have been Pearl's fault. Naturally, I couldn't go out. So instead, I returned to the cavern and put the lock back on myself. I realized I wouldn't get a chance to see Maya's corpse as I had hoped. But just then, Lady Luck showed up. After that big earthquake, she showed up all by herself. The real Iris? She said she'd come to make sure the sacred cavern was all right. Stupid girl. I came out from the sacred cavern and got a feel for the situation. And I locked her away in my place. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Iris is not in on it. I repeat, Iris is in the clear. And she's also trapped behind the sacred locks, which is a problem. Oh, this is a problem. I have to wonder. I really do have a feeling that Dahlia is in Maya's body right now. I don't have anything to prove it, but that's the vibe I'm getting. Oh, man. I had finally learned exactly what had happened. It was then that I learned that the plan had actually succeeded. What do you mean your plan had succeeded? I had misunderstood one thing, you see. That night, the one that had summoned me, I had assumed that it was Pearl Fay. Well, of course you would have assumed that. It was written in the instructions. But I was wrong. The person that had actually called my spirit back was Elise. Misty Fay, the picture book author. Interesting. Okay. What? No, this makes sense, because if you remember, I think it was Sister Bikini said that Misty had come to the temple because she knew that something was afoot. Like, she had an inkling that something was off. Now, I don't know how she knew that, but she knew that this was happening. Well, that's really the only possibility, isn't it? After I lost consciousness in the garden, it was her body that was left lying there. Oh. Maya Fay. I wasn't able to kill her with my own hands after all. But even so, I made her commit the most vile sin a human can commit. And that is matricide. The sin of killing her own mother. Oh! Oh my god! No way. Actually, no way. Order! Order in the court. What is the meaning of this? I feel like he says that. I feel like he says that 10 times a day. It's true that I was the one who attacked Maya Fay, but even so, the murderer who actually snuffed out Misty Fay's life was none other than your darling little Maya. That's for us to prove or disprove. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, how did did Maya take a life? I don't think she did. But I don't know what else would have happened. That's nonsense. Are you sure about that? Just think about it. There's even evidence supporting these facts, isn't there? What? What do you mean? What is this so-called evidence? The fact that Maya Fay has disappeared is evidence enough, isn't it? Huh? The idea that she's still in the sacred cavern is just ridiculous. She wasn't able to escape from the inner temple, that much is obvious. In that case, there's only one place she could be. Where? Do I have to spell it out? The bottom of the Eagle River. Where else? You? Oh my gosh! This is crazy. Eagle River. Maya Fay killed her long-lost mother. Can you imagine the guilt she must have felt when she realized that? That's why she threw herself into the Eagle River. I don't buy it. Now she's just trying to make us panic. This I do not buy. I do not buy it. Hate her story-wise, but character-wise, she's smart. Oh, yeah, that's about where I am. She's just such a good villain. She's such a good antagonist. Most bodies that wind up in there are lost forever. No, I don't buy it. So, what do you have to say now, Feeny? Oh, please tell me they unlocked the trick locks. I want nothing more than, honestly, for Mia to come back, Maya to join us, Maya channels Mia, and Mia puts her behind bars again. Well, or banishes her again. Is this your ringtone? That's sick. That's sick. Sorry, that's my phone. Dang it, Godot. I thought they were calling me. What kind of ringtone is that? Godot here. Okay. Thanks. Was it something important? They just finished removing the locks from the sacred cavern. That's great. What about Maya? There was a woman in the cave. Was it Maya Fey? It was the accused, Sister Iris. She really did lock her up. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Huh? Don't look so surprised. I locked her in there yesterday. I just finished telling you that. So, what about Maya? Where is she? There was no one else found inside the sacred cavern. No, that can't be. I told you, didn't I? She's dead. No. Oh, Phoenix. Phoenix, don't let her get to you. You're playing right into her hand. It seems that this case has come to an end. A tragic end. Sadly, it appears the killer of Elise Stoneham, also known as Misty Fey, was her own daughter, Maya. Overcome with guilt for what she had done, Maya Fey jumped to her death into the raging waters of the Eagle River. That can't be. Ha! Godot? Godot, what you hiding from us? What you got in that cup? Trite, have you ever heard this one? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Aww. That's Mia's line. No matter how improbable it may seem. What is that supposed to mean, Prosecutor Godot? According to this witness, Maya Fey threw herself into the Eagle River. However, is that really the truth? Remember, this woman testified earlier that the bridge was already on fire when the murder was taking place in the garden. Which means if Maya had thrown herself into the river, it must have been from the inner temple side near the bridge. But there's no footsteps. That's right. That's where she jumped from. But that's impossible. It's impossible to jump into the river from there. You know, there is something very, very poetic about the fact that Godot is the one keeping this case alive and keeping us from going insane, much like how Mia used to do for us, and much like how Godot used to do for Mia. That's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. Piano theme is Godot's theme. Yep. How would have Maya even known it was Misty? Yeah, didn't she leave when Maya was like 2 years old or something? I don't know if Maya would have been able to recognize her. Also, wouldn't she have looked like Dahlia at the time? Well, I guess if Dahlia goes unchanneled, then she would go back to being Misty. What? Don't get your panties all twisted up, Trite. I love that he calls him Trite. Just relax and think through the whole thing again. So it's impossible. Maya couldn't have thrown herself into Eagle River, huh? Well, Mr. Wright, is that true? I mean, I assume it would be because of footsteps, but maybe it's also because of the map. If she's on this side, there's no water directly underneath. She would hit the ground. We would find the body. Well, Mr. Wright, Ms. Hawthorne claims Ms. Fey threw herself into the river from the inner temple side. Do you have any evidence that refutes this claim? Well, okay, Your Honor. How about, does she have any evidence that says that Maya did that? Because that's a crazy accusation to make. I don't know how this fell on me, but here we are. We could take a look at the map. It's impossible to jump into the Eagle River from the inner temple side. No one knows that better than this witness. What did you say? 11 years ago, you jumped into the very same river. I forgot about this. Just take a look at this overhead map. As you can see, below the cliff on the inner temple side is a big rock shelf. Oh, you're right. She wouldn't have reached the river if she had jumped off from there. In other words, if she had jumped, we should be able to see her body in this photo. Godot? Thank you very much, sir. I'm glad. I don't think anyone hates Dahlia more than this guy does, for those who are unaware, so I'm not surprised that he's on our side right now. This is very cool. So you finally figured it out. You... No. Oh. Order! You're just playing with me. Maya Faye's body is at the bottom of Eagle River. There's nowhere else she could possibly be hiding. Ms. Hawthorne, have you ever heard this one before? Once you eliminate the impossible... Oh my gosh, Phoenix. Drill it home. Let's go. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Yes, just a few minutes ago, Maya Faye wasn't inside the sacred cavern. We now know that she didn't throw herself into the Eagle River. Correct. That eliminates all the most likely possibilities. Now, although it seems improbable, there's still one other place she could be. What? What is this one possibility you're talking about? That's obviously a bluff. So where's her dead body then? Oh, I think I know. And it's not a dead body. It's just currently under different management than it normally is. I think the pieces are falling into place. Normally, the living have no way to punish the dead, but I think there is a way to give Dahlia Hawthorne the ultimate punishment. Shall I tell you, Ms. Hawthorne? Shall I tell you where Maya is this very instant? Maya Faye is in this very courtroom. Oh, this is so cool. There's only one possibility left. Namely, she's right here. Maya Faye is here? In my courtroom? Oh, you guys, let me take you on a ride. I'm about to blow your mind. For example, in case 3, when Gumshoe brings the evidence to us, he's using Damask's bag thing. Yeah! This game does do it really well. I feel like they got into like a really good writing flow for this one. Dahlia Hawthorne. I seem to recall that you said I had misunderstood one thing. So what? But I think there's one more thing you misunderstood. And what do you mean by that? Tell me something. At this very moment, who is channeling Dahlia Hawthorne? Why, well, that's obvious. It's Pearl Faye. That pathetic little sniveling runt. No, it's not. You're wrong. Pearl's tried, but she couldn't do it. Because someone else was already channeling her. Isn't there any explanation for why you couldn't channel a spirit? It could happen if someone else was already channeling the same spirit. Someone called me before Pearl did? But who? Pearl's even tried again on the day after the crime, but she couldn't do it. What could that mean? I think the truth is becoming clearer to you right about now, am I correct? Oh, this is so cool. It wasn't Pearls that channeled you. There was someone who called you before she could. This is so sick. This is an easy one. Pearls couldn't do it, and Misty Faye is gone. There's only one possibility left. Come on already, I can't stand the tension. Dahlia Hawthorne. The person channeling you right now must be Maya Faye. What? Does she not know that? I guess if she really thought it was Pearls. But how could that be? Remember what this witness, Dahlia, said about her goal. She said that her goal was to kill Maya. That's right. But if Maya channeled the spirit of someone that was trying to kill her... Well, Gramps, what would happen? Could it be? It looks like you finally understand, Your Honor. Well, I don't. What are you going on about? What I'm going on about is the reason Maya channeled you. And there's only one reason. To protect herself from you. Maya, you are so smart. I'm sorry for all the things I said about your intelligence throughout the past year and a half. To protect herself from me? Yeah. On the night of the crime, you were only interested in one thing. Killing Maya Faye. The path back to Hazakura was closed off, and there was nowhere for her to run. So then the problem became, where would be the safest place to hide? Oh, you mean that's when she channeled me? All this time, you thought you had been channeled by Pearls. That's why it never occurred to you that Maya's hiding place was you. Dude, this is so sick. I'm so happy that she's eating. Oh, that was oh, I've never seen her make that face before. You're saying that I, Dahlia Hawthorne, was played for a fool by that little whelp? Maya Faye killed herself, isn't it obvious? I don't know about that. Sorry, but no. It would have been impossible for her to jump into the Eagle River. This was the only avenue of escape open to Maya. The only way that Maya could disappear from the inner temple. I don't believe you. A stupid little girl like that who has never been out in the real world. She could never have come up with a plan like that. Oh, but she has been out in the real world, thank you very much. She's been working at Wright & Co. law offices for barely minimum wage, but she has been out there. Who could have ever given her such a brilliant idea? Well, me, of course. Oh! 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 Mia! This is exactly what I wanted. This is what we've been waiting for. This is what the people want. Mia Faye. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh, this is... Oh, this is so sick. So it's true. It was you. Oh, and Godot and Mia are reunited, if not in very weird circumstances. Yes. You're something else. But what are you doing here? That hair. It's Pearls, right? Tell me something, Dahlia. I want you to think back to that night one more time. You had just cornered Maya in the inner temple's garden. And then, in the final moments of the fight, you lost consciousness. Wait, did someone channel Mia? I was stabbed by Maya Faye. Actually, Maya lost consciousness at the same time as you. She did. Not terribly surprising since she was about to be killed. Thanks, Your Honor. When she woke up, she was in the training hall. That's when Maya decided she needed help, so she channeled me. She explained in a memo the situation she was in. Smart. She asked me what I thought she should do. She did that? I can't believe it. Of course, I didn't have all the details, but one thing was perfectly clear. And that was, I knew that you couldn't be allowed to wander free. Free? What do you mean? It was a race against time, so I wrote down 2 things that Maya had to do. Channel Dahlia Hawthorne as soon as possible, and lock herself in the sacred cavern until help arrived. Wow! So it was Maya who put the lock on there. But who stabbed Dahlia? But why did you order her to do those 2 things? If she hadn't done it, Dahlia Hawthorne would have been channeled by someone else. By one Pearl Faye. Pearls? Yeah. Pearl didn't properly understand the plan, so all she was trying to do was follow her mother's instructions. If she had succeeded in channeling Dahlia's spirit, things would have turned out very badly, to put it mildly. You know, she died in the second case in the first game, and all this time later, she is still coming up clutch when it matters. She is so cool. Dahlia Hawthorne would have used the body of Pearl Faye to kill Maya at all costs. Yes, it certainly sounds like that was the intent. How dare you? I won't forget this. Why not just admit it, Dahlia Hawthorne? Your little plan was nothing but a big failure. Mia, our goat, I know. Another failure to add to the pile of shame, wouldn't you say? Dude, I love Mia. What do you mean by another? Oh, do we have... Surely, we can list them all off for you, Dahlia. Think about it, Dahlia. Remember all your past crimes? Not a single one of them was a success. They all ended in failure. What? How dare you? 11 years ago, the fake kidnapping, your very first crime. You got your hands on a $2 million diamond, but after Terry Falls escaped and went to meet with Valerie, the truth was exposed. Shut your mouth. That wasn't my fault. It was because of that stupid oaf of a prisoner and that weakling of a policewoman. And then, 1 year later, you tried to kill me. Well, I'm still alive, but you wound up killing someone else. As a result, you were sentenced to death. It's one stupid move after another for you, but it's no longer funny. You wipe that smug, happy-go-lucky smile off your face. Oh, she is crashing out, y'all. She's crashing out. She's really bad at getting away with murder. No kidding. She's 0 for 3 now. Well, technically, she did kind of get away with the Terry Falls one, remember? Because he, like, poisoned himself for her. So she, like, half got away with that one. She was in her early 20s. The game does a really good job of making her seem cunning and formidable, but in the end, just like all the criminals in this game, they're just humans. Yep. Yep. And now this. You've messed up again. You let Maya Fey escape, even though she was right there in front of you. Oh, she's about to crash out. But Mia Fey. Oh, she's going crazy. You spinster. I was supposed to kill Maya like I swore I would. And if only you had gotten this spiky-haired jerk the guilty verdict, I wouldn't have been hanged to death. True. Oh, that's all. It's true. But I think you finally understand, Dahlia Hawthorne. You will never defeat me. What? What did you say? Whether you're alive, dead, or somewhere in between, you will never defeat me. As long as I'm around, you're destined to lose for all of eternity. Oh, I remember what you said earlier in the trial. You said there was no way we could punish you because you were already dead. What about it? Then you said, even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, lives on forever. That's very true, Dahlia. And that's exactly the punishment you'll never be able to escape from. For all of eternity, you'll have to remain as Dahlia Hawthorne. A miserable, pathetic, weak creature who can never win at anything. And for you, there's no escape from that, no hope of freedom. Since the day you were executed, the narrow bridge that once stretched out in front of you has burnt to a crisp. Oh, bars, Mia! Bars! You're wrong. It can't be. Oh! How could I lose to the likes of you? It no longer matters how. I don't care whether you win or lose anymore. The only thing I want is for you to come out of Maya's body right now. Best sprite in the game incoming? Oh? Oh! Oh, you weren't kidding. I'm not ready. Not ready to go. Oh? Are we back? Nick? Sis? Oh no. Oh my. Oh my. Dahlia makes me sad. I will be real. She did have, I mean, don't get me wrong, she's obviously very evil and does bad things, but she didn't have the best upbringing. She didn't have the best upbringing. She found herself in some trouble. Terry Falls was a bad dude. It's very interesting. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. She definitely, there were things along the way that made her the way that she is. Dude, that was crazy. Imagine, like, imagine Mia, like, every once in a while, they just, like, call Dahlia to just, like, remind her, hey, by the way, you lost, and then they unchannel her. That'd be kind of foul. Although I'm sure you can turn it down, maybe, if you want. I don't know how it works. I guess that only opens yourself up to her doing something real dumb when she wakes up one time. Now then, I assume you are the real Iris? Oh, we've got the real one! Yes, I was just rescued from the sacred cavern. I must say, you and your twin sister are indeed identical from what I can see. In any case, it appears that everything has finally been cleared up. Mr. Godot, what happened to Dahlia Hawthorne? Well, Your Honor, I don't know if we can really give you a good explanation. If you ask me, Your Honor, it looks like she went back to the hell she came from. It seems that Misty Faye wasn't the only victim of this crime. Maya Faye, as well as the young Pearl Faye, were also victims of this wicked and selfish plan. Yes, Your Honor. The tragedy of Medium Valley has finally come to an end, it seems. It would be best for everyone if no further attempt was made to channel that spirit again. I agree, Your Honor. Your Honor. Yes, what is it? About this whole spirit medium thing. It's almost weird how comfortable you seem to be with the concept now. Well, to be frank, my younger brother is quite judgmental. He often criticizes me for not studying hard enough. That's why I made a concerted effort to study up on the Karain channeling technique. That's character growth. You can see Dahlia running a bookstore? I could see it. Isn't that the New Year's edition of Occult? I've seen quite a few things in my many years on the bench, and in all that time, I finally learned this one thing. Each case is different and takes place in its own world, if you will. In order to fully understand that world, first we have to immerse ourselves in it completely. And that's where my brother and I used to differ. Never thought of it that way. At any rate, it's time to pass judgment in the case of Iris of Hazakura Temple.
Objection!
I mean, do we, know who killed her? What's going on, Mario? Welcome in. Welcome in. It's been a while. I hope you've been well. We're lawyering up. You're a little too fast with that gavel, Your Honor. What do you mean by that, Mr. Godot? This trial, it isn't over yet. That's what he means. What? Trite, remember what Miss Evil Spirit said in her testimony? Dahlia's testimony? I caught up with her in front of the stone lantern. Then I took out the dagger and got it from the storeroom. I feel like we don't have all the answers yet. It's strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that. I think I was stabbed. The best part of this case hasn't happened? Oh. Just as Dahlia, I thought we were at the end, I'm not gonna lie. Just as Dahlia Hawthorne was about to attack Maya, she was stabbed and killed by someone. That's right. The person that was ultimately killed was the spirit medium that channeled Dahlia. Elise Donum. No, Misty Faye. But who killed her? We still don't know who did it. Well, that's a good point. There's been some really good parts. I can't wait to see what happens. Unless someone else is found guilty, the accused is still on trial. We can't let her walk until there's evidence that proves her innocence. No way. But this court isn't prepared for any further testimony. The prosecution is ready to call our final witness. It changed your life. Oh my. The final witness. Who else is there? We've called everybody. No. This one will clear up the whole mystery. The mystery of who killed Misty Faye. Maybe Larry? But Larry was already here. Well, Larice was here. Maybe it's Larry. Indeed. Is it really all right, Mr. Prosecutor? Of course it's all right, Madam Attorney. Very well then. Who is this final witness? Ha! Isn't it obvious? There's one person who saw the whole event and will put the final dagger in this case. Someone who saw the murder took place? The very person who saw her mother killed in front of her own eyes. You mean Maya? No way! You can't. She can't testify after what she's just been through. We need to find the truth. The prosecution calls Maya Faye to the witness stand. Wow. Very well. But first, we'll take a brief recess. We'll have to wait for Ms. Faye to recover before summoning her. Once we receive the doctor's permission, we will proceed with the trial. Hey, Trite. I've got something to say to you, so listen up. What is it? I don't think much of you as a lawyer, Hurtful. It's always the same with you. You somehow manage to just squeak by without even a faint understanding of the case. Some beautiful woman always seems to come dashing in at the last minute to save you. You've got some nerve, even if you're like kind of right. But that's not going to happen this time. This time, you're going to have to do this by yourself. That's enough. This court is now in recess. Oh! Dahlia's exorcism's probably my favorite part. And then all the junk with Larry before that. Both prime contenders. I'm very... Oh, my. Okay, so... Actually, no, I don't want any spoilers. I was going to ask something. I'm like, good. I'm good. I'm truly sorry about everything. You were working so hard to defend me, but I was missing all day, and we didn't even have a chance to talk. She's right. When I met Iris at the training hall yesterday, they had already switched places, and Iris was inside the sacred cavern. Holy moly. You think I should finish it tonight? I should be able to? Alright, bet. We'll grind it out. I wanted to at least be in the defendant's box today to root you on. Well, it wasn't your fault. You were locked up this whole time. There's something more important than that, though. I have to ask you. Why did you help your sister out as much as you did? Huh? If you had tried to get help at the sacred cavern yesterday, you wouldn't have spent an entire day locked up in there. My sister... I felt sorry for her. She was abandoned by her mother and never got any love from her father either. You know, that's a good point. While the father did abandon Iris, Iris at least grew up with Sister Bikini, who did care about her, but I don't think Dahlia had anyone like that. Yeah, but it was the same for you, wasn't it? Yeah, but at least I had Sister Bikini, who was like a mother to me. If only Dahlia had come with me to Hazakura Temple. Dang. I always loved her. Dahlia was so smart, strong, she never complained about a thing. That's why I promised her that I would help her. Are you talking about the fake kidnapping case 11 years ago? Yeah. I wanted to be useful to her in some way. But, as usual, I was too cowardly. At the last minute, I ran away. Because of that, Dahlia's stepsister, Valerie, ended up... That was the case that wounded Mia so badly. Yeah, she quit being an attorney for a year. I love Iris. I feel awful for her. She got dealt a really tough hand, man. But things didn't end there, of course. Some people suspected that my sister was involved in the murder. Some people? You must mean... Yes, 2 defense attorneys. Mia Fey and Diego Armando. That guy look familiar to anybody? After poisoning Mr. Armando, who was getting too close to learning the truth, Dahlia even tried to kill the person who had unknowingly hid the poison for her. That would be me. You. That's right. Diego Armando? I mean, if you want me to really spoil it. I mean, I don't know for sure. I'm just saying he looks an awful lot like this guy. He's got the same hair. Oh, I didn't even realize that. Iris, there's one more thing that I have to ask you. Yes? What is it? On the night of the murder, the person that cleaned up the corpse of the victim, Elise Stoneham, was it really you? Yes, it was me. That night, after I rang the lights out bell, I went back to my room. At around 10:30, I received a call on my cell phone. There's a problem. Come to the inner temple right away. I got on the snowmobile and headed for the inner temple, but the path to the inner temple was cut off, right? Exactly. We can't just leave the body here, so you've got to do this exactly as I say. Got it? What the? It was me. I was the one that received her body. The murder weapon had been left in her body so she wouldn't bleed too much. The staff that Mystic Elise always held. I knew it. So the actual murder weapon was the staff. That's right. I brought the body back to Hazakura Temple on the snowmobile. But why did you alter the body? I didn't want anyone to know that the staff was the murder weapon. I didn't want to leave anything that would lead back to Misty Faye. Oh! So I dressed her in a robe and stabbed her with the Shichishito. I wiped the blood off the staff's blade and left it next to her on the ground. Iris, just tell me one last thing. Tell me the name of the person that called your cell phone. The real killer. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I can't do it. I can't say who did it. Iris! Please! I see. Victim's staff updated in the court record. Has a sword hidden inside the actual weapon used to murder the victim. Defendant! Yes? The judge is calling you. He wants to see you in his chambers. He has some questions about Dahlia Hawthorne. All right. Well then, I'll see you later. There's something I want to tell you. Oh, okay. Oh, what? So it's true. Iris cooperated with the real killer, maybe even from the very beginning. Phoenix. Mia. How's Maya doing? Physically, I'm not worried. She'll recover completely. But emotionally, she's been hurt real badly by this case. Yeah, I can imagine. I see. You don't mean she's learned who Elise Donham really was? Yes. I went to the medical office and talked with her. I told her everything I knew. But why? Maya's stronger than you think. I knew she could take it. All of it. What do you mean by that? I want you to figure that answer out by yourself. The trial's about to restart. The real killer. Do you know who it is yet? I don't! I don't know who it is. Wait. Do I know who it is? You don't think... Don't tell me if I'm right or wrong. You don't think Elise channeled Dahlia. No, that wouldn't make sense. I was going to say channeled Dahlia and then stabbed herself to get rid of Dahlia, but that wouldn't make sense. Okay, so I don't know who the killer is. Iris wouldn't tell me you called her, but still, I think that just maybe I know who it was. That night, the victim was killed in the garden of the inner temple, and the criminal wasn't just there by accident, which means that the killer knew of Dahlia's plan from the very beginning. Was it? There's no way it was Morgan, right? Morgan's in jail. How could it have been Morgan? No, it can't be Morgan. My favorite ship, Iris President. No. No. And one more thing. The victim was moved to the Hazakura Temple side by pendulum. In other words, the criminal couldn't cross the bridge. That means they were stuck on the inner temple side for almost an entire day. So the culprit was someone that wasn't in Hazakura Temple the following day. Gumshoe! Who? Bikini was there, so it's not her. Nah. That's as much help as I can give you. The rest of the battle is yours to win. Or lose. Alright, I've got it. Thank you, Mia. Mia's so cool. Finally, it's almost time to bring this case to an end. What exactly did Maya see, anyway? And who was it that actually killed Misty Faye? Whoever it was, I have to prove it. Me. All by myself. All by myself. To be continued, or to be carried on right after. Because we're gonna push forward. I would like to finish this. If we're that close to the end, I would like to put a bow on it. Dang, this is crazy. This is like the closing chapter of me starting my VTubing career. This was the very first game I streamed, I think, outside of Fortnite. That's crazy. And now we're coming to the end of the trilogy. That's kind of cool. About a year and a half later, not even, like a year later, I started in May of 2025. Now then, before we proceed any further, I'm going to announce the results of the tests we had performed earlier. Wow, I forgot about those. On the bloody dagger that was found stuck in the pine tree. Oh yeah, that. I totally forgot about it. That's the weapon that Maya Fey used when she fought with the victim. So what are the results? Was it the victim's blood, or... Due to time constraints, a full test wasn't possible. However, there's one thing we can say with certainty. The blood that was on this dagger was not the victim's blood. Interesting. That is all. Now then, let's restart this trial. So it wasn't Misty's blood on the dagger. Then whose was it? Found stuck in a pine tree in the inner temple garden, the blood does not match the victim's. I'm sure both the defense and the prosecution know this, but this trial is rapidly coming to a close. Both sides will need to show some firm evidence with their claims. You know, he says that, but I've got a feeling that Godot doesn't have all his evidence lined up. I feel like I'm presenting a lot more evidence, but okay. I understand, Your Honor. Does my opponent understand? From what I've heard, the witness is dangerously weak, physically speaking, so let's finish this quickly. Agreed. Very well. Please bring in the last witness. Hi, Maya. We're going to wrap this up, and we're going to get you we're going to get you a double-decker burger. 2 patties. Your toppings of your choosing. Let's wrap it up. Witness, please tell us your name and profession. Maya Fey. My profession is, I'm the assistant manager at Wright & Co. Law Offices. Maya, according to the magazine I have here, you're a spirit medium of the Karain channeling technique. I'm frightened. The Fey clan, I don't want any more to do with it. Maya, the pain the Fey bloodline causes must be unbearable. Very well. Now then, Miss Fey. When the event occurred, you were in the garden of the inner temple. And you witnessed the moment of Ms. Elise Stonham's murder. Is this correct? I didn't see any... Straighten up this instant, young lady. Huh? Pick your head up and speak clearly. There's always time for crying later. But Your mother was killed right in front of your eyes. There's nothing you can do to change that fact. But there's something you can do. You can finish this. You've been watching the whole thing, right? You've seen the witnesses come out, and you've seen us squeeze the truth out of them. Now it's your turn. Let's hear your testimony. You know, very similar to what he said to Mia when Mia was his underling and Mia lost the case. And he said, can't cry in the courtroom. Gotta wait till after the courtroom. He's always, wow. That's the full circle. This case has a lot of full circle moments. That's sick. That's so sick. On the night of the crime, what exactly did you see happen? Witness, if you please. Yes, Your Honor. A good-ass burger and a well-deserved nap, all out of Godot's pocket. Yeah, he's buying. I was passing through the garden on the way to a spare prep room when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. I stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me!" Then something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness. Something warm. So you were struck in the head. I suppose it must have been this staff. Maya, the person who hit you. It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? I'm sorry, Nick. I couldn't see. I don't know who it was. Maya, think hard. Sorry, Nick, but I really couldn't. Ha! Can't say it wasn't an especially good night for young ladies to be walking around alone. It seems that it will be hard to determine the criminal through testimony alone. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your cross-examination. Hang in there, Maya. She doesn't look well at all. Yeah, no kidding. You had to think from Maya's POV, right? I just want you to think about this from Maya's perspective. She saw her mother get murdered right in front of her. Immediately pretty much passed out. Had to channel Dahlia. And then essentially woke up here in the courtroom. Like, to her, her mother probably died like 20 minutes ago her time. Like, this is, I know it's been a couple days for us, but in Maya's waking conscious, it's probably been like 20 minutes. I was passing, well, 20 minutes when she came back, and then obviously she had to go get treated. So probably like an hour or two at this point. I was passing through the garden on the way to a spare prep room when it happened. Who else was on the inner temple side that night? Well, Sister Bikini, of course, but I remember her saying that Iris would be coming later as well. On the day after the incident, Edgeworth met Bikini at Hazakura Temple. That means she couldn't be the criminal. So then, did Iris actually come later, like she said? Well, let me think. She seems confused. It's probably because she's so tired. No, I'm sure I didn't see her. She must have come while I was preparing for the training. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. Who did it? Who hit you? Well, I didn't see who it was. I was hit from behind. You didn't see the person? But after that, your attacker was in front of you. How could you not see who it was? Relax, Phoenix. Relax. She's trying. Let me think for a sec. I'm sorry, I just can't remember. Maya's really having a hard time. What should I do? I want to press her harder, Phoenix, but I really want you to do it nicely. Come on, Maya. This isn't making sense. Why didn't you see this person? Well, let me think. It was, that's right. It was dark. That's it. Dark? It's not good to have too much light around when someone's undergoing spiritual training. Come to think of it, there was earlier testimony to that effect as well. So it was dark in the garden on the night of the crime. Which is why she didn't see her attacker. I thought maybe she was trying to hide something, but I guess not. Judging by the testimony thus far, the identity of the attacker was most likely the spirit that was channeled by Elise Donham, Dahlia Hawthorne. Very well. Please continue with your testimony. What happened after you were struck on the head? Chill, Nick. She just saw her mother get killed 2 feet in front of her. Nick is just so passionate about the law and justice. He can't help himself. I stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. What happened afterwards? My attacker was in front of me, blocking off my escape. I think. You think. After getting hit like that, I was in a state of panic. There were only 2 things rolling around in my mind at the time. Well now, this is beginning to get interesting. Beginning? Your Honor, where have you been? This is the craziest case of your career. What do you mean it's beginning to get interesting? Are you just now locking in? We just spoke to the dead, bro. What are you talking about? So what were the two things rolling around in your mind? My name is Maya Fey. 1 + 1 = 2. You see, for some crazy reason, I was afraid I was gonna lose my memory. I know it's odd considering my life was in danger, but that's how it was. That's not odd at all. Your actions are understandable given the circumstances. So, what did you do then? I think I screamed, "Help me!" So my first thought, and I'm going to hear Maya out on everything before I present anything, but I stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. I don't think that that could be possible. Because, no, not this photo. Where's the photo with the, yeah, she wouldn't have written her name upside down like that. Magic people, dead people talking, and we literally saw a spirit exit someone's body. Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty interesting day. I'd say we've earned a couple burgers after this. You think you screamed, but you're not sure? Listen, I was a complete wreck. It was dark and I couldn't see my attacker. Was it a man, a woman, an adult, a child? I had no idea. I was scared out of my wits. Believe me, my dear, I'm certain I would have soiled my robes. Ew. Not the time, Your Honor. I thought this person might attack me, so I... Anyway, I'm pretty sure I screamed. I thought that it was my last hope. Wow. It sounds like poor little Maya really was out of her mind. But I wonder what she meant by last hope. Could I press her for more details? Ooh, what did she scream or her last hope? We'll probably have to do both. Let's start with what did she scream. So you're certain that you screamed, "Help me." I think so. Now that I think about it, that's gotta be what I screamed. Ha! Is it all that strange, trite, for her to have screamed, "Help me"? No, but something about that bugs me. Why would you face someone that's trying to kill you and go through the trouble of screaming for help? All right then, witness, go on with your testimony. I thought she was saying a dog, a child, because I wasn't looking at the screen. Oh, because I said adult. A dog, it could have been a dog. A bipedal, is that when they stand on two legs? A bipedal dog. It would not be the craziest thing that we've seen in Ace Attorney. All right, I have to press her on the other thing too. Last hope. Wait a minute, Maya. What's this my last hope stuff? What? What do you mean by your last hope? No, not my last, your last hope. That's what you said. You said my last hope. What? I said what? You said... Look, you were facing an attacker that you couldn't see and you screamed, yeah? You screamed, "Help me." Yeah, but you testified that you screamed because you thought it was your last hope. Well, you know, that's like... What do you call it when that happens? Maya's not doing so well up there. She's not doing so hot. Yeah, oh, that's right. I remember now. I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at. There we go. There we go. What did you just say? Yeah, that's right. It was the person behind my attacker that I was yelling at. Wait. That's who I was screaming to for help. What is it now? I messed up. I didn't mean to let that slip out. Oh, no. Huh? Oh my gosh, did Pearl do it? Oh. No. Witness, are you absolutely sure of what you're saying? Behind the attacker was another person? I am... Well, I meant to keep that part a secret. What have I done? Ha! It takes a ton of pressure to make a diamond. That's what I always say. A ton of pressure. You're in a court of law here. You can't make things up or try to hide things in this chamber. Witness, the information you just presented is vital to the case. I want you to add it to your testimony. I said it was Pearl as a half joke, half serious, but now I'm starting to get more and more sure that it might be Pearl. I'm just running out of ideas of who it could be. What if it was Pearl, but it was Pearl like channeling Mia? And Mia stabbed Dahlia, but Dahlia was inhabiting the body of Misty. I could see a man behind my attacker. A man? I could see a man behind my attacker. A man? Who was this man? Well, you see, I couldn't see. You couldn't see? She's used this excuse twice now. Well, you know, lantern light isn't very bright. Lantern light, did you say? There's a great big stone lantern in the garden. Maya, the lantern hadn't been working. They always light it when an acolyte is there for training. Hey, you know what they say? Under the lantern, darkness reigns. So I could see the person that was further away, but not my attacker who was closer. Plus, there weren't any other light sources in the garden at the time. Then something warm splashed over me. I'm pretty sure the light was not lit the night of the crime. Oh, Maya, we've caught you in a little fib. You don't mean... I didn't know it at the time, but I think it was probably blood. Is she saying that's when Ms. Donham, who was channeling Dahlia, was stabbed in the back by the killer? It couldn't have been Larry, right? Larry was on the other side of the bridge. At that moment, I was paralyzed with fear. I was just sitting there in the snow, and I'm sure blood got on everything around me. That's when I lost consciousness. So what happened next? I don't remember. How were you saved? You don't even remember that? No, I haven't got any idea. I really don't know what happened at all. That's too bad. I've worked side by side with Maya for 2 years now. I can tell when she's trying to hide something by how she acts. And right now, I'm absolutely certain she's hiding something. Maybe Pearl accidentally channeled Manfred. And Manfred's just like, oh, you know what? It's been a while since I killed someone. I should do it again. This person will do. I could see a man behind my attacker by the light of the stone lantern. No, you couldn't. Maya, sometimes when you're lying, it's best to omit some information. So there is a man standing behind your attacker. Yeah. That man, he's the killer. He stabbed her from behind. He's the one who killed Elise Donham, otherwise known as Misty Faye, your mother. The killer? Maya, you know who killed your mother, don't you? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? To be frank, Your Honor, I think she's in shock and quite confused. That's why she hasn't noticed the huge problem with her testimony. Huh? What do you mean? What problem? Maya, on the night of the crime, that stone lantern was out of commission. What? It's true. There was no light anywhere in the garden that night. No. Oh. It can't be Phoenix. Because Phoenix fell. Phoenix was at Hazakura Temple. Can't be Phoenix. Order in the court. Mr. Godot, explain this. Yeah, Godot, you do the explaining. Add the pureness of milk to the perfect, clear darkness of coffee. Stir. That is the state of the witness's mind right now. A cup of cafe au lait. Light. I don't know how to pronounce that. Cafe au lait? Is that even legal? Mr. Trite's words are the milk and you are the spoon, Your Honor. I'm a spoon? I'm no spoony bard, I'll have you know. I got my money on it's one of the judges who did it. Well, that would be the plot twist of the century. You must have noticed it too, Trite. This witness's mental state is highly unstable right now. It's not hard to understand why she would make a little mistake like that. Sorry, but that's not gonna cut it. What did you say? If there truly was no light in the garden, then there's a fatal contradiction in the witness's last bit of testimony. Nick, may I? Recall the witness's statement about her attacker. She said that she didn't know if it was a man or a woman, or even an adult or a child, or a dog. And yet, the witness could describe a person that was standing behind her attacker. And she quite clearly described him as a man. In other words, that would have to mean that Maya actually saw our mystery person, despite it being so dark that she couldn't see the face of her own attacker. No. Oh. I do wonder if she's saying it was a man to protect who it actually was. To throw us off our scent, right? Order! What in the world does this all mean, Mr. Wright? Are you saying Ms. Fay saw the real killer under pitch black conditions? Objection! Trite, do you have any idea what you're proposing? How could she have seen in the dark? There was no other light source at the scene. There are some things that you can only see in the dark. Wait. No. No! Did she see his mask? No way. I don't buy it. I've got to be off. I've got to be off. I've got to be off. Maya, you did see who the killer was in the dark. And now you're trying to cover for him. Cover? For the man that killed her mother? There's only one conclusion I can draw from this. You know who this man is. Please, Nick. I don't know anything. I'm begging you. Ha! You talk a good game, Trite, but let's see if you can walk the walk. It was pitch black, so what could the witness see? I'm calling your bluff. Nick, don't! Please stop. Maya's dead set on protecting this guy. The man who murdered Maya's long-lost mother. But I can't let him get away with it. I'm a lawyer, an officer of the court, and I'm here to find the truth. All right, Mr. Wright. Time to show us what you've got. Who was this person that you say Ms. Fay saw in the darkness? Is there any... There's nobody else. Dude. Because it was pitch black, Ms. Fay was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm sure the court would like to see for itself how this is possible, yes? What? But how do you propose to show us something like that? It's easy. We just need to recreate the conditions of that night. This is crazy. Conditions. Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all the lights in this courtroom be turned off. Well, this is... But it can't be. Huh. No way, bro. That was a nice bit of deduction, Trite. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I will say Dancing called it. Dancing called it. Not much of a murder, but more of an unfortunate situation. Yeah, it's not like he's a cold-blooded killer, right? He was trying to save someone. This is still insane. Yeah, Dancing, you'll learn the people who play this game, they love to throw you off your scent. Hollow did it to me one time. Hollow's like, oh yeah, I love this character. And then the character ended up being the killer. It's fun that way, because then you never really know. And it's hard to get spoiled that way. Dude, this is crazy. Well, everyone, this is the man Maya saw on the night of the murder. You probably still loved them. It was Matt on guard. You love Matt on guard? I mean, he's a great character. Order! Order! Prosecutor Godot, what is the meaning of this? Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why aren't you denying it? Huh. Your Honor, you're asking the wrong person. What do you mean by that? If you've got a question, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. Well, Maya, how about it? What you saw that night, was it 3 glowing red lights? Well, witness, answer the question. You're wrong. I never saw that. Maya, I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man for a totally different reason. Huh? What? I hate Matt. See, I told you. Stop your chattering, Your Honor. Chattering? If it's worth asking, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. All right. Well then, let's continue with the testimony. Please tell us how you knew the killer was a man. Yes, Your Honor. I didn't realize it until after I woke up, but... here we go. When I came to, I was just lying there on the training hall floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. The torches were lit and the body was gone, and all of the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up too. Oh, because it had blood on it. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man. No, Maya. You must be thinking of Eenie Miney. I only support women's wrongs. I liked Eenie Miney. They were a good character. Ace Attorney does very good at either like clueless or funny gag characters that end up being like evil. Dahlia, Eenie Miney. So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to think the killer was a man. That's right. I'm sorry, Your Honor. No need to apologize. It's as Mr. Godot said, you're utterly exhausted. It's only natural that you would be a little confused. Also, if you consider the situation you described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man. Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. Let's go. All right. When I came to, I was just lying there on the training hall floor. So you lost consciousness when you were in the garden, is that right? Yes. I think it happened when the victim was stabbed. So then the person that carried you into the inner temple, it could only have been the killer. And that's what I think too. So the killer carried Maya into the inner temple. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. Naturally, the killer must have done it, right? I mean, I think so. But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide. I don't know. It looks like she doesn't have enough confidence. I think I need to gather some more information before I ask her again. The torches were lit and the body was gone, so we might have to come back to the second point here. The torches were lit? Yes, that's how I noticed the whole scene had changed. I'm going to say it was the killer who lit the torches. I mean, who else could it be? The killer probably lit them since it'd be impossible to do any cover-up work in the dark. What do you mean you don't know? She's going through a lot. Be patient. We'll get there. Be nice to her. However, if that's true, there's one thing that still bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body? That's true. It's hard to see how that would be of any advantage to the killer. The only one who would gain anything from that would be the only person that was at the inner temple, Maya. Very well. Let me hear some more about the condition of the crime scene. And all the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up too. So you're saying the killer cleaned up the snow. I mean, it did look really odd. The snow was removed in an unnatural-looking rectangular shape around the lantern. There were a lot of shovels around the inner temple, but they're all really heavy. Way too heavy for me to use. An odd fellow indeed, this killer. Why on earth would anyone want to take snow away? Well, there's one thing I can think of. Didn't you say that a lot of the victim's blood sprayed onto the snow? Yeah. The area I collapsed in ended up being splattered. In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. I think that's the most reasonable explanation. Perhaps. However, there's something that's bothering me. If the killer just wanted to hide the snow with blood on it, there was no need to remove that amount. That's true. He could have just scooped up just the snow that was stained with the blood. Yeah, so why did he do it in a perfect rectangle? It looks like there are some mysteries behind this issue. But I think this will help explain them. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man. So you're saying that you never saw the killer, right? Yes. But earlier, you very clearly stated that you saw a man behind your attacker. Nick, I'm sorry. The killer certainly went through a lot of trouble moving the body by pendulum, manipulating the crime scene. But for what purpose? Why do all that? Maybe Maya knows more than she's letting on. I'm gonna try to press this piece again. Naturally, the killer must have done it right. I think so, but why would the killer tamper with the crime scene? There must be something that he desperately wanted to hide. There we go. The truth is, when I saw the crime scene, I felt something. You did? Yeah. I felt like the killer was hiding the evidence for me, for my sake. I see. Elise Donham channeled Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia is attacking Maya. Not only does Godot have a grudge against Dahlia, but he also sees this going down, stabs Dahlia Hawthorne, but as Dahlia leaves the body, she no longer looks like Dahlia. Godot realizes that it's Maya's mother. I'm sure he recognizes her because he knew Mia, and so he said, I'm going to dispose of this body, not because I'm guilty of a crime. All I was doing was protecting Maya, but I'm going to dispose of this body because I don't want Maya to find out that this was her mother. Dang! That's my theory. What? Hiding it for you? Everyone knew that I was the only one at the inner temple that night. If Sister Bikini had come back and looked at the garden, she may have thought that you'd done it. No, she definitely would have thought so. And you're saying that's why the killer cleaned up the crime scene, to make it look like nothing had happened. Yes, I'm sure of it. So does that mean Godot is the true killer? I do think that's where we're headed. We'll see. Well, that's certainly an important piece of information. I want you to add that to your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. I think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up the evidence of what had happened. They did it for your sake. Well, if the body and the blood hadn't been removed, I would have immediately been the prime suspect, right? Yes, I suppose that's true. And if that happened, the body would have caused some other problems too. If her real identity had come out right then, it would have been terrible. Master of Karain killed by own daughter. I don't think Maya would have been able to handle it. But still, it's rather difficult to fathom the killer's motives. What reason is there to go through that much trouble to protect you? Because he owes it to Mia. I feel like he probably is like, I have to protect Mia's sister. I think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up the evidence of what had happened. I wonder if I have anything to object here. I don't think a profile would be the right thing. This maybe? We could object potentially with this. The blood doesn't match the victims. I feel like killer isn't a good word for this situation. Yeah, well, I mean, he did kill her. It just wasn't murder. Like murder would be, culprit would be a good one, yeah. Let's see if there's anything in the killer certainly went through a lot of trouble moving the body, but for what purpose? Why do all that? Maybe Maya knows more than she's letting on. So we added this to the testimony. I think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up the evidence of what had happened. So we could, I'm going to save my game here. We'll do a little save scumming. Maybe use the Maya's name written in blood, because wouldn't it be Dahlia's blood instead? Yeah, but I don't think we have DNA on it. I don't think we have DNA on that. On that blood sample, at least. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. I think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up the evidence of what had happened. So, what would we present? We would present... This would make sense because this would show that Elise was her mother. And this was found in the garden. Godot didn't take this with him. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. Bummer. Bummer. Okay, now I will save scum. We got enough health left. Oh, what are we trying to prove? I think we're just trying to find contradictions. Torches were lit and the body was gone. The torches were lit. That's how I noticed the whole scene got changed. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body? It would be hard to see if there would be any advantage to the killer. The only one who would gain anything from that would be the only person that was at the inner temple. All the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up. I feel like that's a big key. Let's see what she says here. So you're saying the killer cleaned up the snow. It looked really odd. There were a lot of shovels around the inner temple, but they're all really heavy. Why on earth would someone want to take snow away? The victim's blood. The area I collapsed in ended up being splattered. In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. Perhaps, however, there's something that's bothering me. If the killer just wanted to hide the snow with blood on it, there was no need to remove that amount. He could have just scooped up the snow that was stained with blood. It was after this that she channeled Dahlia? I think so, yeah. It looks like there are some mysteries behind the issue, and then she says, but I think this will help explain them. And then nothing. We're going to try to... I'll press on everything again to make sure we're not missing anything. Never saw the killer. You saw a man behind your attacker. So you lost consciousness when you were in the garden. Person carried you inside the temple, the killer. The place had totally changed. I think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up the evidence of what had happened. Was it for her sake? Let's check. Oh, no, it couldn't have been for her sake, right? Because if it was for her sake, then wouldn't the killer have also erased her name? Yeah, that's the contradiction. When I get stuck, I just look over each piece of evidence and go with process of elimination. You know, I try that too. So you haven't bet. There's been some times where I've been stuck on something for like 40 minutes. This case has gone swimmingly because I'm like locked in, but there are times when I'm not locked in and it can get a little rough, but I refuse to use Google. I'm very stubborn. Maybe that's why Godot was so surprised. Oh. The body of Elise Donham was carried. Oh, yeah. Because Godot was like, there was nothing written on it. You're right. The one pot that took press like half an hour. One time I tried to cut it up for a short and it was like 40 minutes. The body of Elise Donham was carried all the way to Hazakura Temple Courtyard. Then at the garden, the real scene of the crime, the snow that we suspect was covered in blood was scooped up and removed. It's reasonable to believe all this was done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's still one matter that seems somewhat odd. Oh, and what would that be? You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Godot. It's the message written in blood on the lantern. It was written very clearly on the white lantern. Maya. If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why didn't they wipe the writing off the lantern? Oh. The Blue Badger puzzle was one of them. That was one of them. Order! But, Mr. Wright, isn't it a fact that the killer was trying to cover up the crime scene? Indeed, but it doesn't make much sense to move the body and remove the bloody snow, then not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing. But if that's the case, do you have an explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior? Why don't you tell us, Godot? Why would this killer move the body and remove all the snow, but then leave the bloody writing on the lantern? I don't know what the killer's plan was, but it's a fact that the killer left the writing on the lantern. There must be a reason for it. Well then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your opinion. Well, who, me? Why did the killer leave the message written in blood on the lantern? Because the killer wrote it? No. To pin the crime on Maya, I also don't believe it. The killer didn't notice it. Because he's colorblind. Because his goggles are red. His goggles are red. That's why he can't see the red. Oh, I'm just putting that together now. Prosecutor Godot, earlier in this trial, you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought. The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime had occurred there. If that's the case, they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice it. But that doesn't make any sense. The torches were all lit and everything. There's no way any normal person would miss something as glaring as that. You're right. There is no way any normal person would. What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright? There's only one person involved in this incident who could have missed seeing the bloody writing altogether. And who would that be? Who's the person that could have failed to notice the writing? Well, the person who failed to notice it earlier, Your Honor. Same guy as last time. Mr. Godot. This is what you said yesterday. My eyesight's pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. You can't see everything? Is that correct, Mr. Godot? This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented. That's right, there's something written on it, written in blood, and he's like, actually, that's nonsense. as clean as a whistle. Mr. Godot, just admit it. There are certain colors you can't see, correct? You can't see red on a white background, can you? That's right. We went through this once before. During the poisoning case at Trebien. I think it was Hollow who brought that up. Godot couldn't see the ketchup on the apron. Wow, they did a good job of plotting out like an overarching plot in this game. This is the apron the delightful Ms. Bird was wearing at the time and somehow spilled coffee on. That's right. There's something still bothering me. Why have you not explained the blood stain? And he's like, blood stain? What blood stain? Stop sign? What stop sign? Does anyone get that reference? Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-colored stain that's smeared all over the apron. That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a blood stain. There's so much foreshadowing in this game. I bet this game in particular is really good on a replay. You could see the coffee on the white apron, but you couldn't see the ketchup because it was red. Ha! It's strange. In a black and white photo, those letters would have appeared black to me. I wonder, why am I the only one that can't see them? So then, Mr. Godot, are you admitting it? Are you admitting that you can't see the red writing on the lantern? Hey, Gramps. Didn't you know? That's the reason why I don't drink red tea. I wasn't sure about it until now, but I just can't believe it. Prosecutor Godot is the murderer. But there's no going back now. I finally figured out the truth. Mr. Godot, the defense at this time formally accuses you. You're the murderer of Ms. Elise Donham, also known as Ms. Misty Fey. It's hard to believe this may be true, however, once again, Mr. Wright has brought up a disquieting fact about you. Ha! I can't believe they made the mask an actual part of the plot. I thought it was just cool character design. Just make sure you don't fill out the indictment in red ink, Gramps. Come on. How does a little graffiti make me into the killer? Besides, it's not like it's my name that's written there. I'm certain that the killer wasn't able to see the color red. This is rich. Do go on, Trite. The answer's right there at the crime scene. Oh, he couldn't see. Sorry, I think I probably just blew your eardrums out. He couldn't see what part of the snow was covered in blood. So he had to get rid of all of it. The snow. How so? Well, for example, why did the killer move all that snow? Your Honor, you said it yourself. If he wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not just take out the affected area? Yes, why didn't he just take out that... Oh, could it be? The killer couldn't see the red blood that had seeped into the snow, and so he had to remove all of it. He couldn't be sure of where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area. Objection! Isn't it more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was dark? Not a chance. The torches were all lit. He would have been able to see just fine. It seems that once again, this trial has taken an unexpected turn, to say the least. Can you explain this, Mr. Godot? Maya. Wait just a minute. Maya? What is it, witness? Mr. Godot isn't the killer. After all, he didn't even come to the Inner Temple until 2 days after the murder took place. Am I still allowed to like Godot? Oh, I like Godot. I think Godot's cool. Let's get to the end of this trial. Let's see motive. Let's see if it was to protect Maya, well, I'll hear about. He didn't show up until after that old bridge got fixed up. He's objecting to that? Maya, you can't testify to something like that. Why? What do you mean? I may not look it, but... After the murder happened, you didn't even exist. She didn't? I'm afraid I don't follow. Are you senile, old man? We established this just a little while ago. After the murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time. Because she was channeling Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh, that's right. Please, Your Honor, let me add to my testimony. Nick, please listen to me. Maya, do you plan to cover for Godot no matter what the cost? Well, if that's the case, then I've got no choice. Your Honor, let's hear her testimony. If it means we're going to hear the whole truth, then I say we should not silence her. Ha! Nicely done, Trite. Man, we're only going to get a couple more times of him calling us Trite. It's like my favorite bit in the whole game. Very well, let's hear the witness's testimony. Please tell us what happened at the Inner Temple after the murder. Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling and my spirit left me, as it were. But little Pearlie was there at the Inner Temple, too. After the incident. Pearlie was also stuck on the Inner Temple side that night. The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the Inner Temple for the first time. He found Pearlie first and cheered her right up. Who is this Pearlie? That's my little cousin, Pearl Faye. So when did you hear about this? Oh, just a while ago when I was in the medical office. I'm terribly sorry, but what you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. Maya, how long have you been in the business? Come on! Pearlie would never tell a lie. She's a way more honest person than I'll ever be. Real smart, Maya. You always know the best things to say when you're under oath. He should plead defense of a third party, Godot. I feel like they can't send him to jail, right? Well, he's not going to get the death penalty. The prosecution has no objection. We believe the witness. Mr. Godot, let's just move on to the cross-examination, if the defense has no objections. Well, this is highly unusual, but, well, Mr. Wright, let's get this cross-examination started. Rather than saying it's Godot, Maya's gonna pin it on Pearl. Poor Pearl. Pearlie was also stuck at the Inner Temple side that night. So where do you think Pearl slept? In the spare prep room next to the training hall, I guess. There's a rule that says you can't enter the training hall during an acolyte's training. But even so, why did she go to the Inner Temple in the first place? It seems that Pearls became very worried about Maya. She knew that the spiritual training I was about to undergo was really intense. Pearls was supposed to channel Dahlia Hawthorne, but she couldn't do it. That's why she headed to the Inner Temple. However, Dahlia Hawthorne was already there, possessing the body of Elise Donham. The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anything. She searched the entire Inner Temple side end to end. Well, you see, Pearlie gets pretty scared when she's alone, and there weren't that many places to look. She says that she even went back and forth several times. The Inner Temple side has two structures, the training hall and a spare prep room. And there's also a storage shack, I think. That's about it. A storage shack, huh? Pearls was looking for other people, right? Would she have really examined a storage shack all that carefully? Well, if it was me, that would be the first place I would investigate. So that means it's possible that someone may have been hiding in the storage shack. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. She didn't hear the sound of them working on the bridge? What do you mean? I was just wondering why she would stay in the prep room. If it was me, I'd at least go out and wait at the foot of the bridge. Oh, well, Pearlie said she was sleeping at the time. She said she was so scared during the night that she couldn't sleep well and woke up a bunch of times. Poor little girl, all alone like that. Well, we know that she had at least one friend in the sacred cavern, Dahlia Hawthorne, who was busy battling with that trick luck. She couldn't let anyone see her, so she wouldn't have shown herself to Pearls. What happened after the bridge was finally fixed? That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the Inner Temple for the first time. So it was your first time on the Inner Temple side, huh, Mr. Godot? That's funny. Am I imagining things, or did the defense ask me a question? Mr. Wright, please save your questions for the witness alone. What you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. Those are your words, Your Honor. It took us how many 12, 13 cases and 3 games, but we finally talked back to the judge just a little bit. Yes, Phoenix, go out with a bang. That's what stand up for yourself. It's about time. Touché, Mr. Wright. See? And he respects it. That's what I'm talking about. Oh well. What do you have to say, Mr. Godot? Hot nights and even hotter coffee. That's what I always say. If it hadn't have been for this case, I never would have visited there. A freezing cold temple in the mountains. I think I'll pass. So he had never visited Hazakura Temple or the Inner Temple, huh? You want to say something, Trey? In any case, I have to find a crack in Godot's armor while I cross-examine Maya. Very well, please go on with your testimony. After fixing the bridge, the policeman came over to the Inner Temple side, yes? Right. Then Mr. Godot, he found Pearlie first and cheered her right up. Only took us 4 years of in-game time to talk back to the judge. Hey, you know what? Better late than never. It takes a while to work up the courage. I remember this cross-examination gave me double trouble, or a little trouble when I was playing. It's about to give me double trouble. He found Pearlie first and he cheered her right up. He cheered her up? That's what Pearlie said. She said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Godot. And here I was, thinking you were nothing more than a coffee addict. Ha! Cut it out. You're making me blush. This guy's really beginning to get on my nerves in more ways than one. The truth is, there aren't that many places to look on the Inner Temple side. The policemen were all busy going over the garden with fine-toothed combs. So I decided to carry out an investigation in my own way, Godot style. I'm the same way. I like to hand down verdicts in my own way, judge style. Maybe I should ask some questions, Phoenix style. Okay. I want to ask about his investigation. You said that you conducted an investigation of your own. Did you find anything? It looks like my investigation went about as well as yours, Trite. After all, I did miss the bloody writing on the lantern. Well, I didn't miss it, so speak for yourself, Goggles. Goggles. The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the training hall. And there it is. He left us one last breadcrumb. If he's talking about the hanging scroll, then if he was there for his investigation, this would not have been covered in gravy. Misty Faye, naturally, clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes. Western tastes? Could he find a stranger way to describe gravy? Oh, I thought that he was saying he had found her like that, not covered in gravy. I mean, he has white hair and he's probably like 50. He's 33. He's been stressed a little bit. He's been a little bit stressed. Wait a sec. What did Godot say just now? How did you instantly get it, though? Listen, I'm locked in this case, man. I'm locked in. I think I just found his proverbial weak spot. There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? He must have already been at the inner temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed Elise Dona. Interesting. He found Pearly first and cheered her right up. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. Is this where I'm going to do the save state? I think this is where I present it. Because if this scroll is covered in gravy, you can't tell that this is Misty Faye. The only way you would know is if you saw it beforehand. I just hope that this is where I present it. Let's go. Oh, he cheered Pearl up by giving her coffee? Wait a second. She's 9. I don't know if that's a good idea. I should have pressed on it. I should have pressed on it. I don't know if that's a good idea. But hey, you know what? It's Godot. I'm going to bet that he gave her decaf. Mr. Godot, the first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went into the inner temple was long before the murder took place. Why do you say that? Because he just made one fatal slip-up. The hanging scroll in the training hall. Hanging scroll? But Mr. Godot's right. That scroll shows a picture of my mother. Maya, I know you know who it is, but here's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired, 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this. What's this wonderfully delicious smell? Your Honor, that's like days-old gravy. I don't know if I'd call it wonderfully delicious. The morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy. Gravy? But why gravy, Nick? I'd ask your cousin. Because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. Well, Mr. Godot, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have had any way of knowing that this was Misty Faye. Wait a minute, Nick. Yes? Take another look at the hanging scroll. At the top. There's a crest there. Ah, that's the mark of the master, right? Exactly. So if you know the meaning of the mark, then you could guess that it was a picture of Misty Faye on there. True, but Mr. Godot described what was underneath like this. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes. Oh no, I think a skunk just sprayed outside. Oh, hang on. I had to go turn my AC off so I don't let it in. Ew. Oh, man. What a bummer. There's a skunk that lives, like, I don't know, probably, like, somewhere around, like, within, obviously within, like, a couple feet of, like, my neighborhood. And that thing is always spraying. Press's new mortal enemy, the skunk. Ah, dude, this guy can't stop spraying. I think he just does it for fun. I don't even think he does it because he's scared. Oh. Yeah, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. However, he couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Godot, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the inner temple long before the crime took place. So he had to know that it was going down then. He had to have known. He had to have known. Right? Why else would he be there? Did you know stink glands can be removed from skunks? You know, I did hear about this. And I do actually think skunks are very cute. Can I ask you just one little thing, Trite? What is it? This whole theory of yours, it all rests on a certain assumption. That I knew beforehand that a crime was going to be committed. Right, that's what I'm saying, Godot. That's right. Otherwise, there was no reason for him to sneak onto the crime scene. Of course, Mr. Godot knew about the plan. Huh? What did you say? Uh-oh. Is it really possible that another person knew of that plan? Yeah, I mean, I guess it's possible, but how? Occult magazine. This wouldn't do anything. I mean, Misty Faye somehow knew, right? Godot's a prosecutor. Maybe he had access to Morgan Faye, perhaps? God, I'm so sleepy, but I'm going to see this case through with you guys. Well, don't ruin your tomorrow, Max, but thanks for staying with us. But if you have to get up early, you know, don't stay up for us. But thanks for sticking it out. I don't think it'll be much longer from what I can tell. Let's see. Is it really possible that another person knew of the plan? Hanging scroll, photo of Elise, Iris's hood, the weather data, no, the Shichishito wouldn't have told him, the victim's staff wouldn't have told him, autopsy report, no, track photo, no, crime photo, no, Larry's sketch, no, burnt letter, orders from Morgan Faye, opened once before. I can't remember. How did this get to Pearl? I can't remember. Was it when Pearl came to visit her? When Pearl came to visit her, and it was in the temple, you're right. And it was in Karain Village. Should be there, leave everything up to her. Make sure to tell no one about this letter. So it could be the burnt letter. I'm gonna go with the burnt letter. This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Faye authored the plan for her daughter's future. And these instructions were hidden somewhere in Faye Manor for a year. However, by the time little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed. Unsealed! Yeah, the killer had read these instructions long before Pearls ever found them. I think it actually says that, right? Opened once before! Yes. That's how he knew the crime was to take place at the inner temple. And you still insist this crafty killer is me? You bet I do. But you just said that the instructions were hidden. That's right. Mr. Godot couldn't have known where the instructions were hidden. If he really wanted to know, he had one great chance to find out. Yes, and when was that? During a visit. A visit. Morgan Faye told her daughter Pearl about where the instructions were hidden. During one of her visits to the detention center. That would be the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden. Eavesdropping on a visit at the detention center. Yeah, it could be arranged if you were someone with easy access in and out of there. Like, for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Godot. Oh, I think we've got him cornered. Order! Mr. Godot, you're under fire yet again. This murder could not have been carried out without prior knowledge, and you were the only one that could have acquired this information before the murder. Who's still giving this guy coffee? Not only is he on like his 80th cup, but he might go to jail. And they're like, hey, you know what? But drink up. I don't know how the coffee is in there. Humans are afraid of the dark. And yet, at the same time, we're fascinated and bewitched by it. Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness that's coffee. Sorry for always asking, but what does that mean exactly? It means there's a reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer in this case eavesdropped on a conversation during a jail visit where he learned of a hidden plan for a crime. After discovering the plans, he hid in the inner temple and waited for the crime to occur. Then he ultimately took a person's life. And he did all of that just to protect this witness. That's right. If you're accusing me of this crime, I have to ask you, why would I do this? This girl's nothing but a stranger to me. I've got no reason to go through that kind of trouble to protect her. I am what you see. I am certainly not the type to rescue the damsel in distress. The killer's behavior is certainly extreme, for lack of a better word. Even considering that the killer wanted to protect this witness's life, his behavior is still a little too unnatural. Ah, but when you know that he and Mia were old co-workers, well then it makes sense he's protecting his old colleague's sister. If he'd confessed, or if he'd fessed up earlier, he'd probably get off scot-free. That's true. But I do wonder, I'm sure we'll find out, but I wonder if the reason he didn't was because Maya didn't know that that was her mom and he didn't want it to come out. However, you had a good reason, didn't you, Mr. Godot? An unshakable reason that forced you to protect this witness at all costs. I knew it. You figured it out, haven't you, Nick? Come on, Maya, you know me. Maya, I guess you were doing your best to cover for Godot. For the same reason, huh? He'll probably get off in his own trial anyway. I think so too. This guy is not destined for a long time in jail or the death sentence, I don't think. Okay, Trite, I'm all ears. Let's hear it. It's really simple. Maya Fey is a lot more than just a stranger to you. What's this? There's one person who lies at the very center of this whole story. One person that ties you and Maya Fey together inextricably. Her deceased sister. There's a very good reason why Maya Fey's life is so precious to you. After all, she's Mia Fey's only sister. Mia Fey. You once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney. Wait a second here. Mr. Godot is a defense attorney? With your honor's piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now. The real name of this man who calls himself Godot, his real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right? Wow. The last time someone called me by that name was over 6 years ago. Diego Armando. That name rings a bell. It should, Your Honor. All of this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. Mia Fey's first time in court, the tragic outcome left a deep wound in her heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise. But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, a senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked. It's my fault. Oh, yes! It's all my fault that Mr. Falls killed him. Mia, you can't cry yet. And he told Maya the same thing when she took the stand. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. I was moved by her. The way she put all her faith in her clients, that pure, sweet heart of hers. That's why I could never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. Mia and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. Then, one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria. I just remembered. 6 years ago, right here in this courthouse, you were poisoned. Even I didn't see it coming. Wow. Is that why he has to wear the goggles? Dahlia Hawthorne slipped some poison into my coffee. Some newspapers at the time called it a murder. But very little information about the case was released to the press. That's me. But you weren't dead at all. No official reports ever actually called it a murder. I was just in a deep, deep coma. I see. My body shut down and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. That woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight and all my hair turned white due to the damage it caused. Wow. That's terrible. Apparently, it was a miracle that I ever regained consciousness. 5 years had passed since I drank that poison brew. Then one morning, my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee. 5 years? You were asleep for that long? And the worst possible news was waiting for me. Mia Fey was dead. He woke up from the coma and found out that Mia had died. Read into it. Read that I was working with her. Obviously, I couldn't save her because I wasn't there. Oh. It took 5 years for one doctor to drink coffee near him? No, I'm sure that was just an absolute banging cup of coffee. I'm sure it was just the best cup ever. From the very moment I opened my eyes, I had already lost everything I thought I had. The woman I loved had been murdered, and the woman I loathed had been sentenced to death. The woman you loathed? The woman who had spiked my scalding hot coffee, Dahlia Hawthorne. Ha! Good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out. In the end, there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up. That's so sad. For someone like me, for someone who had slept away their best days, there were only 2 reasons left to live. And it was for those 2 reasons that I decided to become a prosecutor. If I may ask, what were your 2 reasons to live? The first was you, Trite. Huh? Me? If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, Mia Fey never would have died, much less the way she did. You were the only one who was there to protect her, but you let her die. It was all your fault. It wasn't like that. I wanted to see for myself what kind of a man you really were. So that's why you became a prosecutor. My other reason for living, she goes by the name of Maya Fey. You mean me? You were the only way I could make up for the sin of not saving Mia. 1 year ago, when the Crane Village incident was resolved, it was obvious that Morgan Fey was planning something. Whatever her evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. My role as a prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her. That's how you overheard Pearl's visit with Morgan at the detention center. I knew that the time was drawing near. Since I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. My goal was to outwit the plan. I thought if I could do that, I could keep that girl from being caught up in it. That makes sense. If Pearls had known that the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya, she never would have helped out. Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contacted both of my accomplices. Accomplices! Iris of Hazakura Temple and Misty Fey. I especially needed the help of Iris. She was to take the fall in my backup plan in case we couldn't control Pearl Fey. But how did you contact my mother? She had been missing for almost 20 years. Officially, yes. What do you mean, officially? You've heard about it, haven't you? About the strong ties between the main family and the government? Now that you mention it, Bikini did say something to that effect. She said that the Master of Karain had great authority. Even without her official position, Misty Fey still wielded great influence. The police have been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her. Again, because of my position as a prosecutor. So my mother was cooperating with you? Don't ever forget, no matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you. Aww. She was always... That's why I knew she would do anything to protect you. If you want to know how strong her resolve to protect you was, look at her staff. The one with the sword in it? The day the plan was to be carried out arrived soon enough. We met for the first time at Hazakura Temple. That's when your mother showed me your special staff. I realized it then, just how far she was willing to go. Wait, this is I'm also gonna cry. She was ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Fay if necessary. Even if it meant paying the ultimate price. Mother. That night, the night of the crime, there was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan. We could all cry together. Big crying session. You mean pearls, don't you? We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hawthorne. Well, oh, what are you going to do tonight, Pearl? If you'd like, you can come to my room. Perhaps we can read some books together. And that's how Misty knew that something was going down, because Godot knew. We thought we could prevent her from playing her part in Morgan's plan. But she never showed up. She was worried and followed me to the inner temple. That was the thing we were most afraid of. And that's why Misty Fay had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Dahlia into her own body so Pearl couldn't do it. What? What do you mean? If she channeled the spirit first, then Pearls wouldn't be able to do it herself. As Master of Karain, Misty Fay's power was supreme. So that's how it went down. It's funny though, Larry was just there. Larry was just found himself caught up in yet another scheme. I don't know how the guy keeps winding up in these situations. Maya is at least part of a big turning family with government and blood ties. Larry's he's just always there somehow. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne so that Pearl Fay wouldn't be able to. What? Is this true? My role in the plan was to make sure no one was going to hurt Maya. That's why I hid myself at the inner temple, just in case you needed to be saved from Dahlia Hawthorne. Godot. Anyway, that's all I'm going to admit to. Trite. Huh? There's no doubt about it. You're a great defense attorney. But you're going to have to do the rest yourself. The background leading up to this incident has been laid bare. There's just one question remaining, Mr. Wright. Who killed the victim? There are only two possible suspects right now. Maya Fay, and I'm sad to say, you, Mr. Godot. Everyone else is scheming and planning, and Larry's brain is probably just exploded because he's just there. Larry, I don't know, is he in court, do we think? Probably. He's probably seeing it through. It's his girl Iris up there. The butts is always involved one way or another. If something's off, it has to be the butts. Well, Trite, if you're the real deal, then finish this thing once and for all. Show us beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can finish this on your own. Nick, please don't. Maya, I heard the whole thing from my sister in the medical office. That's why I have to protect Mr. Godot. I can't do it. I can't testify against him. After all, he's the man who put his life on the line to protect Mia and me. Maya, I know that. But even so, It doesn't absolve him of his crime. Please, Maya, testify. Ms. Faye, your testimony, please. This is the final testimony. Don't bother trying to hide anything because I'll know. I want to hear the truth from your own lips. I understand. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick. Dang, man. All right, young lady. Tell us about the moments before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of the murder? Is she going to tell us the whole truth, or are we going to have to object to something? Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them. I thought I'd ask for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead, though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her. Suddenly, the red lights went out and the whole area was dark. Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream, and right after that, Dahlia collapsed and I lost consciousness. I have tears in my eyes. No, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. These red lights, I thought you said you don't remember seeing them. I'm sorry. I thought I saw them, but then they disappeared all of a sudden. Ha! Things break, Trite. Even the best of theories. Who was it that stabbed Misty Faye? Looks like you still can't prove it. Maya's telling the truth this time, I know it. The rest is up to me. Well then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your final cross-examination of the witness. Wow. The time of the murder. Cross-examination. Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them. Lights shining in the dark, huh? I don't think you can make a mistake about that. You're right. I mean, I think I saw them, but I can't say for certain, and I can't tell you for sure they were from Mr. Godot's mask either. I don't get the feeling she's covering for him anymore, but what if I press harder? Just after that, you turned towards the lights and called for help. Isn't that because you thought the lights were coming from Godot's mask? Yeah, I guess so. Maybe that's what I was thinking at the time, but I can't remember. After all, there was a person I couldn't identify right in front of me. Maya's life was in terrible danger at the time, so there's no way she can remember the details of the scene perfectly. All right then, let's go on with the testimony. What did you do when you saw the red lights? I thought I'd ask for help, but just then I was splattered for blood, or with blood. That blood, was it Dahlia Hawthorne's? I think so. Probably. Just at that moment, I heard a soft scream that seemed to be close by. It was a woman's voice. So that was when the killer stabbed the victim from behind with the murder weapon. Is that right? Without a doubt, Maya was in the middle of a really dangerous situation. Hang on. Found stuck in a pine tree in the Inner Temple Garden, the blood does not match the victim, so Maya would not have been sprayed with Dahlia's blood, correct? The victim was stabbed by the murder weapon. What happened after that? She wasn't dead, though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her. Struck back? How do you know that? Well, you're right, I didn't see it exactly, but I could tell by the sounds of their breathing and movement, and also the smell of blood. You have witnessed more horror than any young lady should ever have to in one life. So then, what did you do at that point? I couldn't move. I could just barely make out their shadows moving in the dark, but I had no idea what to do. Could you still see the red lights you mentioned earlier? I think so, but suddenly the red lights went out and the whole area was dark. They went out. Suddenly I couldn't see them at all. What could that mean? If the red lights were coming from Godot's mask and they went out right in the middle of a fight, maybe the mask was damaged. Or maybe it was knocked off. Or maybe the batteries ran out. Right, Trite? Thanks, Godot. Thanks for chiming in. Or maybe those little red pinhead-looking lights just stopped working. Thanks, Your Honor. Thanks for chiming in. What could have really happened then? This is the day, Trollface. You were right earlier. This is the day. Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream. What do you mean by that? Just at that moment? Do you mean the moment when the red lights went out? Yeah, that's right. The scream that you heard then, was it Dahlia Hawthorne? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a man's voice. What? Godot was wounded and he's gonna show us. So then, that scream came from the killer. That's gotta be it. I think Dahlia Hawthorne must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it. And then the killer let out a scream of pain, huh? After that, the killer stole the blade back and delivered the final blow, I guess. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems to make sense to me. It sounds like a reasonable deduction, but I still wonder. There's a contradiction. I'm sorry to say this, but I think that interpretation would create an enormous contradiction. That makes sense. After all, my deductions are almost certainly never correct. At least he's honest about it. His mask was ripped off and he got hurt, maybe. Oh, maybe he has a facial scar. Remember the testimony that she gave before? Before the killer let out a scream, Maya said she had already been splattered by the victim's blood. In other words, the blade and the staff had already been plunged into the victim. Is that right? She couldn't have struck back with a sword that was already stuck in her body. The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream must have been something other than the staff. A knife. If you're so sure about that, then don't keep us waiting any longer, Trite. Oh, surely, Godot. Actually, you're the one who sent this to evidence, so thank you very much. There's only one thing I can think of that could have been used as the weapon here. If Dahlia Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back by the staff, what could she have used to strike back at the killer? A dagger. Naturally, the dagger the killer brought to the scene of the crime. That's right. I forgot about that. This dagger was found at the crime scene, stuck into a pine tree. The detective found that this morning and brought it to me. Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this, and she managed to wound him as well. Boom. Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean that he was wounded. For all we know, the blood on the dagger could have been from the victim. No, it's not. Have you forgotten that the blood has already been tested? Since we learned it wasn't the victim's blood, it must be the killer's blood. The killer must have a wound somewhere on his body. So you're saying the blood on this dagger belongs to the killer? Yeah, a DNA analysis of the blood would prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Godot, it would prove that it's your blood. You know, while not as sinister, there's some good parallels between this case and the Von Karma case. Von Karma was an actual, like, murderer, but there's a lot of cool parallels. Nice theory, Trite. Order! Order in the court. Is this the end? Have I done it? Even he won't be able to change the results of a scientific test. Ha! Let me ask you something, Trite. Let's just say that it turned out that I was the killer. Do you really think I would be stupid enough to leave evidence like that? What? Just think for a second. This dagger was found this morning by a detective and brought to me. There was already blood on it, correct? But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the courtroom. Yes. What does that prove? Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off and then planted another person's blood on it. But you're not a bad guy, so you didn't do that. It can't be. In any case, there's one thing I can guarantee, Trite. That blood, it doesn't belong to me. Not a chance. What? In any event, it seems to be established that the killer was wounded. Wait a minute. What's the problem? I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation. In mine? Maya? This dagger, you said that it wounded the killer. That's right. But if Mr. Godot had really been cut with the dagger, his clothes should be bloody or have a rip in them, right? Well, Maya, I'm sure he could have changed. Maya, maybe he just changed his clothes. That would solve the contradiction pretty easily. What are you talking about? It's not that simple at all. Remember back to the day of the murder. Everyone that was on the inner temple side got trapped there. That's right. And once the bridge was fixed and the police headed for the inner temple, Mr. Godot was already there waiting for them. Did he not do it? He never had a chance to change his clothes. Maya, we gotta start looking to make you an actual attorney. That's pretty good. Well, maybe he brought a change of clothes with him. But no one could have predicted the lightning strike that shut down the bridge. Why would anyone have brought a change of clothes? Did the judge just take smart pills during the last recess? Well then, maybe the killer took off his clothes before he committed the murder. That way he wouldn't get any blood. That's impossible, Trite. You know how cold it gets up there late at night. After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'd be frozen solid. What the heck? Ha! So that's all you've got. I knew you weren't tough enough to finish this. Right now, if Mia Fey were here, she would have closed the book on this case already. If Mia Fey were here. So come on, Trite. Can you do it or not? How about it, Mr. Wright? You've accused Mr. Godot of being a killer, which is crazy if I can't prove, because that puts me in a pretty bad light. Great idea, Godot. Let's get Mia back. Your Honor, please hold 5 minutes. But can you prove it? Have you got even one piece of evidence? Do I? The question isn't whether I can prove it or not. The fact is, I have to prove it. That's the only choice I have. Oh, she's so cool. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer. I can prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition just as you want it. Ha! That's good. A fighter till the bitter end, Trite. Since there's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point, why don't we go for the unlimited penalty? Oh. Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Godot? Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got the one piece of evidence I need. Give me a break. You've got nothing, Trite. So what do I do at a time like this? It's simple. I've got to think outside the box and approach this from a different angle. We are Ace Attorneys, and these are our trials and tribulations. Maybe the real tribulations were the trials that we worked along the way. Am I right, guys? All right then, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you've got. There's one thing I've demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood on the dagger. But we decided it was impossible for him to have hidden such a wound on his clothes. But what if he takes off that mask? If he had been cut by a dagger, there should have been a blood stain on his clothing. There's one place the killer could have hidden his wound. What did you say? Hidden? Oh boy, this is it. My last stand, and I need to think about this from a different angle. I don't need to think about why there were no blood stains on his clothing. I need to show how he hid the wound. It's the end of the line. The final stop, Trite. Let's hear what you've got. Wow, I can't believe it. Where is this location where you say the killer hid his wound? Oh, I thought it was the mask. I thought this was going to be a multiple choice answer. Well, okay. I mean, can I just present Godot and say it's beneath his mask? Maybe that's not it. Where is the location where you say the killer hid his wound? Where is the location where he hid his wound? Such a good picture, Clarice. I'm a little confused. You say LOL, I mean, oh man, is this one that's staring me right in the face? Oh no. Where is this location where you say the killer hid his wound? Where is this location? Oh man, I don't like that this is like all or nothing right now. I mean, I could just do it here, right? Because it's his face. I'm gonna go with it. I think it's under the mask. Ha! I don't know what you're talking about, and frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be half the lawyer she was. Isn't that right, Trite? What was that just now? Oh my gosh, wait, they threw it. I thought we failed it. But I think they threw us for a trick. I just don't think he could hide it in a physical place like Dusky Bridge. Well, okay, so I was thinking maybe the mask maybe got injured and this is a new mask and he hid the mask somewhere. That was like my going through the back of my head, but no, this makes sense. Get haunted in Mia. It can't be. We're living on through him. Even as we speak, you're still hiding the wound. Oh, guys. It's beneath your mask, guys. During the fight, the red lights given off by the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, your mask went flying off your face. Mr. Godot, would you mind removing your mask? If you have a dagger wound under there somewhere, then I'd say this whole case is solved. He summoned his stand Mia face. Oh my gosh, is he okay? His heart just exploded. Oh, he's fine. He's got his coffee. Just now, I saw her spirit in you. I never liked you. 6 years ago, you helped the woman who put me to sleep by hiding her bottle of poison. And then, while I was sleeping, you let Mia die. But you didn't care. You just kept living your pathetic, happy-go-lucky life. You even had the nerve to follow in her footsteps as a lawyer. I could never forgive you. That's what I thought, Mr. Godot. But I was wrong about you. I knew it from the very beginning. The truth is, the only person I could never find it in my heart to forgive was me. Yourself? I was the one that failed to protect Mia. Me and no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth, to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head on, so I ran. I hid behind a mask. I threw away my true name. I couldn't even deal with being a defense attorney anymore, so I quit. But you saved Maya. Yeah, That was my plan. Up until just now, anyway. What do you mean? Are you listening, Maya? If I had really wanted to save you, then there's one person that I should have gone and talked to right away. Who would that be? Are you talking about Nick? But I didn't do it. I tried to get the help of Iris and your mother, but I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. Do you know why? The real reason. No. Why? I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you at all. I think I was just trying to salvage what's left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact that I couldn't save Mia. Nothing more. That's why I let you walk right into a situation that I knew was dangerous. Forgive me. You're wrong. You put your life on the line to save Maya. Was it really for Maya's sake? Even I'm not really sure. What do you mean by that? That night, in the darkness of the garden, when I saw her silhouette, a part of me must have known the truth. The truth that it wasn't really Dahlia Hawthorne standing there in front of me. It could have been Misty Faye, or even that little girl. But I still picked up the blade. It was like I was dreaming. I hope he picks up a hobby in prison. I hope they have good coffee there. Please don't make him drink the Keurig K-Cups. He's above those. I know he won't like them. I'm not sure exactly what was going on in my mind at that point. Was I really motivated by the pure desire to protect Maya Faye? Or was it something else? He frustrates me at times, but it's because of his flaws that he's so interesting. He needs to blame no one, not Phoenix, and not himself. Yeah, he's definitely this entire game has some very deep characters. I agree. I do think his character's very interesting. Was it my hatred for a woman who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Could it have been simply a desire for revenge? I don't think so. And now I don't know anything anymore. I don't think that's what it is, Godot. I really don't. I did learn something today, however. I finally realized that I was the arrogant one. I was just chasing an illusion, a fantasy. The stupid fantasy of defeating you in the courtroom. You were the one who made me realize my folly. You never ran away from Mia's death. Instead, you picked up where she left off as a true defender of the people. Aww. In that one moment, I understood everything. Mr. Godot. I think you already know this, but if you don't, my name is Diego Armando. Wow. Mr. Armando, I believe in you. I know you were trying to save me. And there it is. Oh, but it's a tear. Thanks. Your wound, it's bleeding. Huh. Did you forget already? In my world, the color red doesn't exist. These must be my tears. Tears? Ever since I woke up from my coma, I think I've been waiting for this very moment. Mr. Armando, you do well to remember this, Maya. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. That is a pretty cool line, though, but you should probably get to a hospital. It's probably a good idea. This time, it really is all over, isn't it? Defendant. Yes, Your Honor. Although you weren't directly involved in the murder, tampering with the body in the crime scene is a serious offense in itself. I understand, Your Honor. Mr. Armando explained that to me very carefully. I knew the risk and I willingly cooperated anyway. Very well. Before I hand down my verdict, is there anything you'd like to say? Well, there is one thing. Something I'd like to say to you, Mr. Wright. I want to apologize to you. Apologize? For what? For the case 5 years ago, of course. Absolute cinema. No kidding. I just remembered. Weren't you poisoned by your own lover? Not exactly, but yeah, something like that. Even now, 5 years later, I can hardly believe it. She was going to do it. She was planning to kill me. It's not all that surprising. The two of you hardly knew each other. Huh? What do you mean? You and my sister... You only met twice. No. Did I date Iris? Huh? We only met twice? The first time you met was on that fateful day. The day she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria of this very courthouse. The next time you met her was 8 months later. You met her again on the day that she stole your cold medicine. And Doug Swallow was killed. No way! That can't be true. I mean, during our whole relationship, we were... Oh! For those 8 months... The woman that you thought was Dahlia Hawthorne wasn't actually my sister. Huh? It wasn't Dahlia. I hope one day you can forgive me. Feeny. Yeah! Phoenix! Yes! That's crazy! Wait, what? Wait. How did... Hang on. Iris is so sweet. A liar, yes. But gosh, rip my doomed head, girl. Oh, I love her. I love her. Phoenix! Oh, it is bittersweet. You know, I do kind of ship them. I hope one day you can forgive me, Feeny. You mean... That's right. I lied to you for 8 months. Oh my god. You're right, this means we were never dating Dahlia. But why? Why would you do such a thing? Ever since she gave you the bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as she possibly could. Because of the police investigation and their surveillance. She couldn't move about freely. So that's why you... My sister, from the beginning, she was prepared for the worst. Prepared for the worst? She thought that you might somehow discover the truth, and that's why she was always ready to deal with you at a moment's notice. You mean she was ready to kill me, don't you? She already had so much to answer for. I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her not to do it, and she agreed to give me a chance. And that's why you came to me? You came to get the bottle pendant back from me in her place? But I couldn't get you to give it back. And that's why she's like, oh, Phoenix wouldn't want to see me either way in the very beginning of this case. I think it would be best for Iris's character for her to move on, especially since Phoenix is on his own path now. I agree. I think you're right. It's unfortunate, but I think you're right. I failed at something even as simple as that. 8 months passed, and I still couldn't get it back from you. Finally, my sister couldn't wait any longer. She didn't consult me about her plans for you that day. It was the first time that had ever happened. That was a bit strange, wasn't it? Up until that day, you two were partners in crime, and she would confer with you. I think she must have noticed. Noticed what? My feelings for you? Oh. Oh, this is really sad. If I had found out she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever was necessary to stop her. Even if it meant her life or mine. Iris, after spending those 8 months by your side, my feelings towards you, they changed. I have something to say to you, too. Yes? You really are the person I always thought you were. Aw, it does have to feel kind of good. Because Phoenix is like, oh, for 8 months this girl led me along to try to kill me, but no. No, she really didn't. Like, they actually cared about each other. That's kind of nice. Even after Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, I still believed in you. Oh, thank you. Guys! How many cups of darkness have I drank over the years? Even I don't know. I'll tell you, though. Right now, this one here is the greatest cup I think I've ever had. I do enjoy them as bittersweet exes, though, but I just prefer the more realistic ending of them having to go on separate ways. No, I get it. I get it. Don't you think so? Phoenix Wright. He called me by my name. Oh. Yeah, I think you're right. The purpose of this trial was to rule on the murder of the victim, Elise Dono. At some point, I expect you will be tried for your role as an accomplice in this case. I understand, Your Honor. Very well. On the charge of the murder, I hereby find the defendant not guilty. Court is now adjourned. Do you think Armando drank the dude's coffee that woke him up from his coma? Oh, certainly. Certainly. Can you imagine how groggy you probably feel after sleeping for 5 years? I think a cup of coffee is the only thing that could get you up. February 10th, 4:51 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 1. So I guess it's all over. The way everything ended, was justice really served? The man who risked his life to save Maya is being sent to prison by my own hand. Of course justice was served. Mia, I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was truly brilliant. But I couldn't save Mr. Armando, the man who cared so deeply for you. You're wrong, Phoenix. You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible. You mean, with that verdict? I think one day you'll understand, too. Phoenix, I want you to remember one thing. You were as good out there today as any defense attorney could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you can learn from me. Mia, you've accomplished something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you. Mia, I'm going to miss Mia. No, is this it? No! I'm sure we'll meet again someday, Phoenix. No! I've handled lots of cases and I've seen lots of things, and along this journey I've found myself asking just one question. What does it really mean to defend someone? I suppose today's case produced one possible answer. Nick. Maya. I guess it's just like my sis said. Mia? What did she say? That night, when I channeled Mia to get her advice on what to do, this is what she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry. Phoenix will save everyone in the end. But, come on. Cut it out with that gloomy face. Can't you see? Me, sis, and I'm sure Iris too. We owe you for everything you've done for us, Nick. Guys, I got little tears in my eyes. Maya, how can you be so bright and chipper after all that's happened? You were brutally attacked and you even saw your own mother murdered. Von Carmo, what's going on? Francisca. Still a softie as always, Phoenix, right? Edgeworth, what are you giving me that look for, bro? You just got here. Excellent work, right? Mr. Edgeworth, when did you get back? Oh, that's right. I guess no one filled her in on that. Edgeworth and Francisca have actually been helping me. Well, Francisca, I would use the word helping pretty loosely. More like following me around. He's in love. He can't stop making... Dude, is that face just introduced in this game? Because that guy... helping you? If these two hadn't been there on the first day of the trial... Von Karma did buy us time. The defense wouldn't have gotten anywhere. Wow. But where were you, Nick? I heard he fell into a river and caught a nasty cold which forced him to sleep all day. Yeah, he laid in bed shivering from his fever with Iris's hood pulled over his head. Oh! Ouch. Talk about embarrassing, Nick. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. And you too, Francisca. I don't suppose there's room for me in this group hug, is there? Hi, Larry. Larry, you can come on in, man. Oh, Larry. What's with the, longer than usual face? I realized something when I was reborn. I realized that Larry was never of any use to anyone, not even once. That's not true. Right, Nick? You're asking me? Well, Nick, is it true? I've got a place in this world, right? Yeah, of course. I knew it. Everyone would be better off if I were gone for good. Hi, Louise. No. Oh, yeah. Those portraits you painted, they were really good. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Huh? Me? Why are you making that face, huh, Edgy? Well, yes, indeed. I certainly can't say that they lack resemblance. God, for people who haven't been here for this, Edgeworth, Phoenix, and Larry are all childhood friends, by the way. You would never guess it from their dynamics, but they all were childhood friends. Don't mess this up, Press. Oh, I forgot I have that one piece of evidence to present, right? Oh, God. Okay, I'll try. Should I save the game? I certainly can't say that they lack resemblance. Do you really mean it? What about you, Franzi? Who the hell is Franzi? Did I draw you well, too? Ow. My beauty can't possibly be captured by a mere crayon. Nevertheless, I recognize the effort you put into it, and that's worth something. So then you'll do it? Like you promised? You're going to model for me? Oh, don't get carried away. Well, how about that? I guess painting portraits is the only thing I'm good at. The painting of Pearl was pretty darn good too, if you ask me. Huh? Now that you mention it, I haven't seen her around. Pearls? Where could she have gone? Normally, she would have made a beeline for Maya. Oh, I'll go look for her. Be right back. Oh, Pearly! Right. You seem to be uncharacteristically puzzled. I suspect you're wondering how Maya can be so cheerful despite all that's happened. Yeah. To be honest, I can't understand it either. That's right. Francisca lost her father fairly recently as well. I think I understand how she feels. Maya's a much wiser person than she appears, and I think she realizes something. Now is exactly the time when she needs to be as strong as she can. What do you mean by now is exactly the time? Well, Maya wasn't the only one that was badly wounded by this incident. In fact, there was someone that was hurt far more deeply than she was. I believe it's for that person that Maya's trying her best not to cry. Aww, someone who is hurt more deeply than Maya. Edgeworth, I think I'm starting to understand too. Ow. Then tell me, Phoenix Wright, who is Maya Fey being strong for? Well, Larry, of course, he's gone through so much, and he's finally rebranded. It's gotta be Larry. No, I'm kidding. It's of course Pearl. Pearl Fey. The poor kid. After all, the reason that she worked so hard to follow the instructions was because she loved and believed in her mother, Morgan. I need Maya to cry. She deserves a cry, even if I understand why she's not. I just hope that she can have a moment when Pearl's not around, you know, to let it out. It's for the good of the Fey clan. I'm sure she believed in every last word. She thought she was doing it for Maya, and that's why she was so happy. Oh, I love them. It shows how truly devoted she is to Maya. But it's a cruel irony that it was her exuberance that led to this tragedy. Maya Fey's mother was killed, and Maya herself was put into the deepest peril imaginable. And that's exactly why Maya's putting on a brave face. She's doing it for Pearl's sake, until she can see her smile again. Hey, Gumshoe! So this is where you all were. What was that for, sir? Sorry about that, Scruffy. My whip just seems to have a mind of its own. What's up, Detective Gumshoe? Oh, you know, this and that. Anyway, congrats on your win. Let's go out tonight, pal. Dinner's on me. My salary's just sorta kinda gone down by a teeny weeny bit, but it's alright. I made reservations at a first-class French restaurant tonight. Oh no, it's not, oh crap, what was it called? The one that Maya worked for like 3 hours at. Oh shoot, I can't remember what it was called. Poor Gumshoe struggling more than us, most likely. Gumshoe, he could use a long break. Pretty good work, Scruffy. That whip was your reward. Detective Gumshoe, you said a first-class French restaurant. You don't mean Très Bien, that's what it was. Where else? I knew it. We're doomed. Come on, let's go, everyone. Can't keep Maggie waiting. Maggie's gonna be there? Hey, you, crybaby, you're invited too. Oh, forget about me. I feel like the bill should be on Edgeworth. Yeah, he definitely has the most money. Although we owe him for covering he covered our shift while we were out sick, so we owe him. Yeah, Francisca has a big salary. She can handle it. Pearl and I will be at the loser's shack eating potatoes. You know, Maya's taking an awfully long time to get back. She's still out looking for pearls. Oh, what's wrong? Nick, what do I do? I can't find Pearly anywhere. Huh? I'll bet she just went back home. That's all. I thought so too, so I called the village, but no one's heard from her. This has never happened before. As I figured, she's been badly hurt by this incident. She feels responsible for the tragedy that's befallen you, Maya. But none of this was her fault. What should I do? Detective Gumshoe? Yeah, what is it, pal? Could you guys go on ahead? What about you? Maya and I will join you guys once we find pearls. Nick? Don't worry about us, Gumshoe. We may be a little late, but we'll definitely be there. We have a lot of celebrating to do tonight, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. Yeah, but you're the... Very well, Phoenix Wright. We'll go on ahead.
Don't keep us waiting. Don't keep us waiting, right? Do I look like him right now? Don't keep us waiting, right?
We won't. But where should we look? Where could Pearly have gone? Uh-oh. Is this a question? I'm really bad at these, Maya. Let's go, Maya. There's only one place I can think of that Pearls might have gone to. Oh, thank God we don't have to choose anything. February 10th, Hazakura Temple, main gate. Hazakura Temple. For Pearls, I bet this is a very important place. After all, it's where this whole incident started. What's this? You're all back again so soon? Sister Bikini, I thought we'd be eating mashed potatoes alone tonight. So she's here? Pearly? She's in the training hall. Why don't you hurry along and go see her? Okay. Pearly's not here. Oh, she was cleaning the hanging scroll. Someone cleaned it off. It's gotta be Pearls. Mystic Maya. Pearly. Why did you just leave like that? Mystic Maya. Oh, Pearl, it's okay. It's not your fault. It's not your fault, Pearl. Oh, I swore that I would never trouble the two of you again. Because it's all my fault that Mystic Maya's mother... That's why you came here? It's the least I could do, to pray for your happiness. You don't have to do that, Pearly. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Of course I'm sad that my mother's gone, but how do I say this? I'm still happy. You don't have to lie just to make me feel better. No, really. It's true. The only reason I'm still here is all thanks to everyone who was there for me. My sis, my mother, Mr. Armando, Nick, and you. If even one of you weren't there, I'm sure I wouldn't still be alive right now. That's why I have to be strong. For all the people that were there for me when I needed them. That's all I can really do. Mystic Maya. I'm impressed. You truly are the daughter of Mystic Misty. Sister Bikini. Your mother. She was a strong woman indeed. I want to tell you what she said to me that night. After dishonoring the good name of Karain, I don't have the right to face my daughter. But still, Maya's always in my thoughts. It's true, she'll always be with me until the day I die. Well, that wasn't too long after she said that, huh? Sorry. Your spirit was with her, that's why your mother was so strong. Even at the end, I'm sure she had no regrets. She'll always be with me until the day I die, huh? Huh? There's a rule or something all masters are to follow, isn't there? To never take the charm off until the day you die. Oh, does Maya get it now? Is she officially the master? The thing that Misty kept by her heart and would never take off. It wasn't the container that was important, rather it was the contents. Is it a picture of them? Mother. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. It's only natural for living creatures to fight to protect their own lives. But what makes us human is that we fight for others. But who do you fight for? How hard must you fight? That's the true measure of what human life is worth. We defense attorneys are warriors who are constantly challenged by that question. Oh my gosh! How sweet! Even when the battle is over and the bonds that connect us are severed, we always return, time and time again. Mia, Maya, Pearls, Mr. Armando, and Maya's mother too. I learned that from all of them. I learned that from all of them. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. Well, shall we get going? Everyone's waiting. This is a day to remember. A day when a lot of things were finally put to rest. And I think we should celebrate what we've overcome today. But I still can't. Oh, go on, sweetie. You can come back for training anytime. Okay. All right, I'm gonna make a brand new start too. Sister Bikini, I'll be back for more training, I promise. I know, and I won't go easy on you just because you're the future master. I'll make sure to prepare reservations for 3 when you come back. Thank you, Sister Bikini. We're going to have a great feast today, Pearly. You know why? Because training is a battle of endurance. Okay, Mystic Maya. I'll eat lots of food tonight. You know, there's one thing I don't get and probably don't want to, but what is it, Nick? Reservations for training is fine and all, but why for 3? Come on, what do you think? You're one of us, Nick. Next time you can train right alongside us. Uh-huh. I'll be waiting for you. Now hang on, I thought guys couldn't do it. Sister Bikini will take special care of you. Huh? It'll be great, Nick. We're gonna do the special course naturally. Huh? That's a great idea. After all, Mr. Nick, you'd do anything for Mystic Maya, wouldn't you? Even walk on hot coals, right? We'll have a nice big meal before we come next time, right, Nick? You know, I was wondering if I can say just one little thing. Future master, this game, this series is craziness. Oh, so there's more. Oh! Nick's not built for this life. No, Nick, well, actually, I would argue Nick seems to be one of the only ones built for this life, because I don't know if there's a lot of defense attorneys that could continuously work with clients that are summoning the dead. So I would say he's the right man for the job. I was wondering if I can say one little thing. I love this part. I can't wait to hear it. I'm getting goosebumps. Well then, here goes nothing. Objection! No! Oh, you were thinking hot coals? Well, that's fair. I'll really have to work extra hard now, Master of Karain and the office manager of Wright & Co. Law Offices, and I have to be a good sister to Pearl. As long as I'm not locked up or captured or something like that. Well, Maya, we get into those situations quite a bit, so we'll try to lean off of those. Watch the credits? Oh, but of course. So it's true. Mr. Nick really is Mystic Maya's knight in shining armor. He went through with the special course. Oh, I did. Actually, I heard there's a legendary extra special course. I think I'll surprise the 2 of them by making them a secret reservation. Pearl is the greatest wingman of all time for 2 people who have no romantic feelings for each other at all. Yo, a new coat. How about that? And Maggie bought it for him. I feel 10 years younger. Yeah, but somehow you just don't seem the same. I guess a dirty, shabby old overcoat is more detective-like, sir. Don't worry about it. In the name of love, a man will soil himself. Silly. Pearl is a menace. She's like, if I ship it, I will make it happen. Hi, Adrian. Mr. Wright, I am once again in your debt. Thanks to you, the Treasures of Karain was a great success. I even got to see Ms. Von Karma. She taught me how to use a whip. It said that I must show you what I've learned. Now, hang on a second. Wait, is it the same code as the one he had in the flashback case? I didn't even notice. Hi, Ron. Desi and I started a company called Mask to Mask Consulting. We're dedicated to stopping the evil plans of all the criminals in the city. Our motto is cut it out, please. We also sell plans to criminals as a kind of side business. You do what? Ron? Desi? Huh? What are we doing? Hang on now. I wanted to show my appreciation to Mr. Wright for exterminating Don Tigre, so I lent him $500,000. Oh, 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 oh! Are we? We're rich. We're rich, Maya. We're rich. No way. Did I get that money? After all this time? After all this time? Did someone finally pay us? Oh, what a glorious day.
My grandkids had a birthday party for me the other day. Talk about embarrassing. 69 years old and I cried like a baby with a dirty diaper.
Guys, we're rich. As usual, we have an abundance of work to do. We've hired a new programmer to replace Glenn Elk. I do hope everyone will get along. His name is Adam Mata. As soon as I heard his name, I knew our brain circuits would align perfectly. Is Adam Mata just the same spelled backwards? I think it is. Adam Mata. Yeah, it is. That's funny. Loaned? Oh no! You're right. It was loaned. We had to pay it back? That's crazy. I think the magazines like us because I provide such a nice visual. I can hardly wait for Iris to come back. Oh, that means she's not getting too long of a sentence. That's good. Guys, this game was really good. You've turned into such a respectable man, Feeny. It was so sweet of you and everyone else to come and visit me here the other day. Of course, I was happy that you constantly had your eyes on me, but I felt kind of bad when the little one slapped you so hard you got a nosebleed. Oh, oh, oh. Objection! Objection! Here we go. This is all. I've been training for years to mock everyone's voice. To impersonate. Objection! She's so cool. Objection! Objection! Where's Pains? Give me Pains. Objection! Did he just... Objection! 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 Have we ever gotten the judge's objection? No, I don't think so. Gosh, what are you doing here? What's this? I'm back from a long and tiring vacation. I guess while I was gone, my little whippersnapper buddy quit, and now I've got no one. And what kind of lonely, crazy security room is this anyway? With the flashing lights and switches, I feel like some sort of space alien. And now, what am I gonna do with all these macadamia nuts? Oh, here she goes. Here she goes. Yeah. Objection! Hi, Larry. I finally found something I love to do. Franzie's Whippity Whip trip is gonna what? I should have realized it sooner. Self-centered, lazy, antisocial. I'm an artist. A really good portrait artist. I'm not a loser after all. Well, I'm glad Larry found his calling. Oh, guys! It's a really good art. Guys, this is really cute. This very much has the feel of the end of a trilogy, not just the end of a game. He's so me. He's just like me for real. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. Not only is it crazy because the game's crazy, but it's crazy because it does kind of feel like... I mean, I know that there's still, gonna be wrong, there's still Ace Attorney games. But it does feel like the end of an era a little bit, right? Especially considering that I started on the very first Ace Attorney game, and here we are a year later wrapping it up, huh? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'll be honest, I don't stick to things very long. It does sound like Apollo Justice is next release-wise. Oh, I thought it was Investigations. Ace Attorney release order. You're right. You're right. Well, interesting, because the next Apollo Justice I've played before. I don't remember any of it. I played it in middle school. Gonna be saying goodbye to Nick soon. Yeah. Yeah, but we get Apollo. Apollo's a cool dude. I don't remember anything about him, really. I would count this as an unofficial finale. Well, it's the finale to, like, Phoenix's arc for sure, right? Good night, Dancing. Thanks for stopping and hanging around with us. Thanks for hanging out. This is a long stream, too. Thanks, guys. Oh, Investigations 1 is next chronologically. Oh, gosh. Okay, well, let me look into which one we'll play. I'm usually a release order person. But we'll see. You would go with Apollo next, and then Investigations before Ace Attorney 5. Oh, so you're saying do Ace Attorney 4, do Investigations, then continue the Apollo Justice games. 3.5 hours is crazy? Yeah, I never do it. I never stream this long. That's not true. I've been a couple times. I don't know, man. This feels like the end of an era. Like I said, I start a lot of projects. I don't finish a lot of projects. I tend to think I enjoy the idea of doing things more than I enjoy doing them. And I feel like this is like the one exception. I really like doing this. I really like streaming and playing games. I have a really good time. I hope that you guys have as good of a time watching as I do streaming. Ace Attorney 5 and 6 are very different. Ooh, okay. I know I really want to play. I talked about this before. The Great Ace Attorney. I love prequels. I'm a prequel guy. I love prequels. We're glad to have you, Press. Well, I'm glad to have you guys here. Thanks. I feel like for story-driven games, chronological is the best order, so you don't miss any references. Is chronological order different than release order? I'm always a release order guy, I think is the way I like it. Because then things that are callbacks are callbacks. But I like Star Wars, I would watch. I've heard some people, which I think is crazy, say to watch like the newer stuff before the older stuff. Now, to be fair, I've only ever seen one Star Wars movie, and it was the original one. But I don't think I would want to watch the prequels before watching the originals, even though technically they came first. Bye, Dancing. Release is better, you think? That's usually where I lean. We'll see. I'll do some digging. I will do some digging. Well, otherwise, we have got a new horror game called Parasocial that I'll be streaming on Thursday. I have it slated for 7 p.m. Just a heads up to y'all. I might push it to 8. Undecided yet, but there's a chance it goes to 8 instead of 7. Oh my gosh, Hollow. I never check my DMs, but I saw, I think it was you. Someone DM'd me an Ace Attorney meme on TikTok, and I was like, "Oh, this is really funny." it got a chuckle out of me. I forgot to tell you that. Chronological gives you the story in the true order, but if they release it in a certain order, it's probably for a reason. Right. Now, I will say sometimes on like rewatches, I will do a different order. So like if I ever replay Ace Attorney, and I probably wouldn't do it on stream because there'd be no point. But if I'm ever playing it for myself, not no point, but you know what I mean. If I'm ever playing it by myself, I might do all the cases in chronological order. Like I might start with 3 and do the Mia cases in the beginning, and then go back to Ace Attorney 1 and do those. And I might do it like that way, just to get a little bit of a different experience. It's nice that the trilogy bundle lets you just pick chapters too, so you can do that really easily. Parasocial is this game about us? Kind of. It's a game about being a live streamer. I don't know what happens. I didn't want any spoilers. I just saw it's by the same people that made the coffee shop game we played one time. It's another horror game. It's that Chilla's something. Looks really good. Looks really good. It's probably just like a one-sitting horror game, so we'll run that on Thursday, 7 or 8 p.m. All right, y'all. It's been real. I gotta bounce. I'm a working man. I gotta work in the morning, so now I'm not gonna go to bed immediately, but I gotta do some cleaning and stuff like that. Did you finish Silent Hill F? No, not yet. Not yet. We're still rolling with that. I just took a week off. Took a week off of Silent Hill. But I do like it. I found Parasocial and I was like, oh, I want to play that. I almost did 4 streams this week, and then I said, I'm not going to push it. Goodbye, everybody. Peace. Good night. Thank you for being here tonight. Thanks for being here always. I really do like having you, and I really do like streaming. So I don't plan on stopping, but there will be some changes that are coming at some point to the channel that are currently in the works, and we'll slowly roll them out as they're ready. So look forward to it. There's always stuff to look forward to. Thanks for streaming. Thanks for hanging for such a long time. All right, whether you're just waking up in the morning, stopping by on your lunch break, I'm going to sneeze. It's not coming out. Oh. Ah. Good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. See ya.